Hello, you beautiful nerds. I am Jedi Master Grayson.
What? And I am your favorite cousin's favorite cousin, Bill.
And welcome to Does It Hold? The show where we revisit classic genre films to see if they're as good or as bad as we remember.
And we may get drunk while we do it. But, as always, ladies, gentlemen, we cannot do it alone.
Yeah, that's right. We are joined as per usual to help with a special guest to help us determine if this film stands the test of time. He is a lover and a fighter and the funniest guy I know,
Jose Cuervo.
He's always welcome. He's like what, the sixth bantha? Jose?
Whatever. We've lost count of banthas at this point. They're like sheep that have gotten out of the pen.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. We have many people who are down to join our stupid cause to talk about sci-fi nerd shit all the time. But Jeff, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me back. I'm very excited to find out if a movie does or does not hold up.
Yeah.
Always down to find out, right? That's good, man. Welcome back.
It's the question people need answered.
Right? We're asking the important questions here. Right. Basically like CNN.
I got a question for you. Who else do we have on the show?
Oh, that is a very good question. I'm so glad that you asked. She is another member of the Nerds at Night Drunk Banthas crew, and she is a big old nerd. So
Banthas.
She is more than welcome.
Drunk nerds.
Oh, welcome back to the show, KirstYn. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. I am really aching for a good movie, so I'm seeing Challengers tomorrow because we've been watching some shit lately. So, I need a pick me up.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because this was not it.
Well, if you need to pick
I haven't
me
seen
up,
this movie in years.
if you need to pick me up, don't watch Baby Reindeer. Don't
Oh,
watch.
God,
No, not unless you want to be horribly depressed after.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
I still need some time. I'm still dealing with the effects of PTSD that I've had from it. So yeah, man, I'm a tough guy.
It's tough.
Yeah, I've heard that's a crazy one. I haven't got a chance to watch it.
Oh,
that's not a bad thing.
If you're watching
take as
this
long
right,
as you need.
It's gonna
if
wreck
you're watching
your
this
game.
right now, that means you can go to the Drunk Banthas channel and you can check out our video on the Bantha Bunch show every Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, where we talk about Baby Reindeer. Save yourself trouble and listen to us talk about it. We watched it, so you don't have to.
Right? Yeah. Guys, definitely check that out.
I said that like it was a slogan of ours or something, but it's not.
It should be. It's like an unofficial one.
Yeah, exactly.
By the time this comes out, that episode will be out. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. And make sure to watch the show when it comes out live on Thursdays.
Check it out.
But yeah, today we are talking. You know what are we talking about today, Bill?
Well, Alex,
let the people know.
I'm glad you didn't steal my lines. So we are discussing the 2001 sci-fi epic, exaggeration, reimagining of Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes, starring Mark Wahlberg, Tim Roth, Paul Giamatti, and Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, this is
church it up a bit.
Yeah, you gotta say it like it's Sunday. Yeah, this is a very interesting movie.
You don't have Chris Christopherson on there.
It's just too many people.
There's a lot of people.
Come on,
this is another huge cameo episode. We had a lot of cameos in Semi-Pro, which we've done recently. Check that out. Does it hold up?
Fun episode.
It's a great episode. But shout out to Eric Martig. But yeah, this one may have had more cameos than even that movie, which made my statement about how that had the most cameos ever completely.
This had Shang Tsung the monkey.
Shang Tsung the monkey.
Shang Tsung-ky, if you will.
Shang Tsung-ky, if you must. There's definitely some cameos from like older actors from the previous iterations of this franchise. And this has been a pretty interesting franchise. Like Planet of the Apes is one of the more popular money-making franchise. It's like kind of the first big money franchise that made the first one was obviously came out in 1968. We're not talking about that one today. We are talking about we were talking about the 2001 Tim Burton film.
The one with Mark Wahlberg. So, Jeff, I gotta ask you, man.
Yes.
How did you feel the first time you saw this film? And was this the first time you saw it?
No. So this was not the first time I saw it. Sorry, I'm writing another haiku.
You have an addiction.
It needs to stop.
It's a hyperfixation. It's evidently a symptom of ADD. Congratulations, y'all just learned you got it too. So when it originally came out, so I remember the first time I saw it, I did not like it. And then like a year or so after that, I watched it again and I did like it. And then I watched it again. And I was like, oh, and then I watched it again. And I was like, oh, and then I watched it again. I was like, and then we'll see where I'm at now. But I will say this, as a kid, I loved the Planet. I loved all those ridiculous old franchises. I loved Jaws. I loved all the Godzillas. And I loved the original Planet of the Apes. I remember like back when I was in grade school, which was well before 2001, watching all of those movies. So yes, this one I have thoughts.
Awesome.
What about you, Kirsten?
Oh, well, I mean, kind of similar to Jeff, but when I first saw it, as a kid, I thought it was pretty cool. Like I had just started getting into soundtracks, so I was a soundtrack nerd already, and I'm like, this slaps. That intro with the drums going over the armor. What?
Oh yeah.
That shit is awesome. Does it keep that pace throughout? No. But now as an adult, I don't know. I just wonder how you can have such a stacked cast and then Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. It's like how some girls have big boobs and no brain.
Yeah,
no, I like them more than this movie.
Well, I'm just saying, sometimes there's no
you can
substance.
Get around that.
Sometimes
this you can't.
Exactly.
I will never forgive them for putting Mark Wahlberg in this. Can you imagine if they'd have put anybody else?
Well, that's I guess a good point to bring up. Mm-hmm. So like I always go into the trivia, right? Mm-hmm. Dude, there's like 97 pieces of trivia on IMDb for this movie. Oh, and I'd say at least 70% are just who else almost starred in it. So instead of Marky Mark, we almost had Harrison Ford, we almost had Leo DiCaprio, I think we almost had Clooney. Basically, every other person was like, fuck no. And Wahlberg was like, let's do it.
First of all, there should never be whenever you see Leonardo was almost in something, you should just take it with a grain of salt. Because like they just
they stick him to everything.
They just means that they called him. Like everybody calls him. He's always up for something in Hollywood. Like he
declines a lot.
Right, he was up for Superman.
Yeah,
he was up for
it's like 1989 Tom Cruise.
He was up for X. He was up for Malcolm X.
He was this close. I do want to get into it a little bit later, all the pre-production madness of this movie. But I do want to say, since you brought it up, like you said, a lot of actors did pass on this movie because they read the script and they're like, no, I'm not gonna fucking do this. Mark Wahlberg very famously did not read the script, and he just had a 5-minute meeting with Tim Burton, and he was like, yeah, I'll pretty much do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Just fair.
that sounds pretty much like him.
Probably the best.
Which him? That could describe any him we've spoken about so far.
That's that's true. That sounds like Chris Christopherson too. He's like, absolutely. Old dirty white man required. I'm in.
I'm in there.
And Jeff Bridges passed. How about me? We're almost identical in our old age. We
Chris
sound
Christopherson.
pretty much the same.
Chris Christopherson is the poor man's Jeff Bridges for sure.
The poor man's Jeff Bridges.
He should have been in RIPD. What were you thinking, Jeff? Come on.
Oh yeah, that was a choice. But what about you, Bill? Do you remember how you felt the first time you saw it?
Yeah, I remember how I felt the first time I saw it. I went in so many melancholy feelings because I'm a huge Planet of the Apes fan before like this movie came out, like the original
Just
one
killed it.
from 68 to whenever the fuck they stopped. I guess the 80s.
I think it was like
76.
74 was like, or 76. What was the last
76,
one?
I think. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because they were
I
churning
think
them
it
out
was
like
in the
Look it up,
80s.
1
'cause
year
it
after
was like,
another.
Yeah, it was
it's like
straight
80
candy for a
something.
while.
I thought,
Was it the
because-
80s?
Because, well, anyway,
Yeah.
Hang on, you keep talking up.
oh yeah, I was a huge fan of this. The what? Go ahead.
73.
Yeah.
1968, 1970, 1971, 1972, 1973.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
So that makes a lot of sense for those last three movies.
Yeah, they just
It
put
really
out,
does.
They just put out a movie every year after that, man. Because this shit was a phenomenon, and also
and a
think
television
about this.
series.
The and a television series.
Oh, it wasn't.
Think
It
about
wasn't
this,
good.
man.
Yeah.
The makeup on Planet of the Apes, the first one,
Mm.
fucking crazy, incredible, right?
Yeah.
Especially for its time.
I would say yes.
And then,
impressive.
but imagine trying to do that the next year, and then the next year,
Right.
and then the next year, like.
Yeah, that gets expensive.
Expensive and wearing and tearing on your body, like on your crew, on the studio itself. Like you said, it's expensive, so the budget. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, man, I can't wait to. Ooh, what they gonna do? It's gonna be Planet of the Apes. They redoing Planet of the Apes. Get there, it's nothing like Planet of the Apes. I was like, what?
In name and premise.
What is going on?
They actually almost named it something else because they didn't want the comparison.
They should have
Because
named it
the
Ape
original was so
Wars.
beloved. The
That's how
Visitor.
stupid it was.
They almost named it The Visitor.
The Visitor?
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
okay. They just went they were going to
You know what? That would have been dumb. Because let me tell you
Yes.
something. I'm watching a whole motherfucking movie about a planet full of motherfucking apes. And you're gonna tell me, and then there's only one person that can even really talk or understand how to like that
Right.
apes are supposed to be.
You
the
got to
jungle.
address it, whether
And
it's in the title
it's-
or somewhere else.
It's kind of like in Man of Steel,
You know
where
what?
they almost call him Superman, but then someone walks into the room and it's like, fuck you, just say it.
No, fuck that. I don't believe that story. I believe that story is fucking bullshit. And sometimes that happens on this show. We have trivia that comes around and I
True.
fucking poke all kinds of holes in it because I don't know, man. That's just
Yeah.
Like
I've
he's trying to
explained
keep a
myself.
millionaire.
Exactly. I've already explained this. It's just what people do when they want to fucking disassociate themselves in some kind of way from the movie after the fact. Fucking Madam Web bullshit. But I'm just
But
saying,
you were just
it still goes on to this day. So anyway,
yeah.
I was mad when I was in the theater. Then I, watched it and I was like, okay, I like this. And then it ended and I was like, what the fuck? So then, yeah, like Jeff, like I watched it again. I liked it. I watched it again. I was like, what the fuck? And then I watched it again. I liked it. And then over the years, they never did another one. So it was just like, well, I guess I love it because there is no more to even like.
Yeah.
So I guess I love this movie. I guess it's my favorite movie ever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because you got to kind of
I don't
admit,
even know.
even when the special effects weren't amazing across all these older movies,
Mhm.
it's still kind of better than the CGI. The CGI just looks weird to me. Like
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
good, but it's not, it's out of place for some reason. It just feels less connective, maybe.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
human eyes in the CGI, it's uncanny valley, like to the 9th degree. And
You're talking about the new ones.
fucking me up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Which,
Yeah,
by the
it's-
way,
I ain't gonna
because of
lie.
this, does it hold up? I watched every single Planet of Apes movies in a week,
Same.
Oh.
including
I did
the
it-
last two CGI ones for the first time.
Mm.
I watched all three.
Thoughts and prayers.
All three of the new movies.
Oh, I
And
watched,
I watched
all three of the new
Planet of the
movies, but the last two of them, it's the first time I've ever watched them.
No, me too. It was the first time that I had ever
Oh,
seen
okay.
it.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
What a terrible first.
I had
did
seen
not. I'm gonna tell you right now, since I don't have to spoil anything
yeah.
for this movie. I liked all of those movies. I liked the Caesar movie, the first one. I liked the second one. I like the third one, and I'm going to see the fourth one.
Well, I have to see the fourth one now.
Yeah.
The story's
yeah,
good. I just don't like the CGI. I think
I think there's times that the CGI could, have.
Get a little
I feel like they
pick-me-up.
could have did something different,
Mhm.
but the faces, That's the only thing I got no problem with.
Mm.
The apes' faces in that movie, the eyes, the expression, that got me. I was like, that's dope because it's really hard, one, but man, like they only really had to make sure they focused on making Caesar look, the way that he looked distinguishable. But did they, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he looks.
My favorite
does
character
stand out,
design is Maurice. The way
Yes.
Maurice,
Maurice is amazing. Yes,
And I will say this: the CGI definitely got better as the movies went up.
It has gotten better. Yeah,
So
the
much
last
better.
one before. Yeah, it was 10 times better. That first one's shaky.
Oh my god!
And
But,
I'll say
hold on.
before I say real quick, like
How you
how I felt the first time I saw
First
this movie, the 2001 Planet of the Apes. I want to say I also rewatched the Caesar Planet of the Apes movies, and I realized that I never saw the second one. I saw War of the Planet of the Apes, and I saw the James Franco Planet of the Apes, and I just watched War of the Planet of the Apes.
You never saw Dawn?
No, I never saw Dawn.
I never.
And
saw
I was like,
Dawn either.
oh shit, this
Dawn's
movie
good.
books.
You know what's crazy? I never saw Dawn, but at the end of the War of the Planet of the Apes, I realized I had seen the last 5 minutes or last 10 minutes, and I was like, "Well,
That sucks."
but it was like I didn't realize it until it was happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't one of those situations where I was like, I think I've seen this. Like, I think I know what's gonna happen at the end of this. No, it was just all bad. It was terrible. But
damn.
Yeah, I'd watched the War of the Planet of the Apes just like before the Matt Reeves Batman came out, just because I want to see how he directed. But like those movies are pretty great. And every about like 45 minutes while I was watching those movies, I was like, Andy Serkis deserves a Cecil B. DeMille Award. Andy Serkis deserves a Cecil B. DeMille Award. Like, he deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award for what he's done for.
He really does.
Yes. But talking about this movie, the first time I saw it, I do remember really liking it. I do like. I wasn't even like huge on just like knowing directors. Like, I wasn't going into it thinking, "Oh, this is a Tim Burton movie."
Well, we kind of did, because we watched a lot of the like preview stuff for it. How it was made and shit. They promoted the fuck out of this movie.
They really were just like really promoting it a lot. And then, it's interesting ideas like this storied franchise with this like really upcoming director. He was doing like, he had just come off of like Ed Wood and Sleepy Hollow. Like, he's had nothing but hits pretty much to this point.
Batman, nigga, fuck all that mother
Batman,
shit.
Edward Scissorhands. I'll talk about the more recent things. Actually, let's
Beetlejuice.
Talking about the whacker ones, man. Let's just talk about the ones that did the thing.
I still love Sleepy Hollow.
Ed Wood, Batman Returns, Edward Scissorhands, Batman, Beetlejuice.
Sleepy Hollow came out came out after this, didn't it?
No, it came out
1999.
The year before.
2 years before, yeah. But it's an interesting part of his
Mars
career.
Attacks?
Yeah, the original creator.
I can't stand Mars
Let me tell you something, man. Mars Attacks, I liked it. It's a polarizing movie, but what I'm gonna say is 1996, pretty good goddamn year of movies, but not nowhere near 1994. Okay, we gotta do it. We gotta do that video.
We got to. And Mars Attacks is for sure a future Does It Hold Up episode. Maybe we'll do it for when Beetlejuice comes out. I don't know.
Maybe we'll do it for no fucking reason.
Just for fun, shits and giggles.
Because that's basically what you just said. Maybe we'll do it when Beetlejuice comes out. Well, why don't we do it when Independence Day 5 comes out?
It's the Tim Burton movie.
It's just funny.
That's some connected issue.
It's just funny.
But yeah, we are talking about the Planet of the Apes 2001 movie. Let's talk about the reception when the movie came out.
Go deep for this one, for this reception. Let me tell you something. When I throw this one, y'all better back.
This had a 44% critical rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 27% audience score.
Is that bad?
It's not good.
It's not great. It's kind of like low mid.
Yeah, like I was surprised by how low both of them are. But like critics were not fucking with this. This movie did end up making a lot of money at the box office, but
shout out to Mark Wahlberg, man. best
No, it
decision
wasn't
you ever
Wahlberg.
made. No, I'm just saying, best decision he ever made was doing this fucking movie.
Oh,
Don't read
yeah.
the script or nothing. Fuck everybody else.
Set him up with
Fuck,
some
fuck
shmoney.
everybody who thinks you sucked in it, dog. Because guess
Dollar
what?
bill, y'all.
Forever has a box office hit from then on out, right? Like you never see him without one after that.
Yeah, this weirdly had a great a subsequent effect for Mark Wahlberg's career. He just kind of turned him into a movie star, even though it had no right to.
Well,
It should
here's a
not
question.
have. Yeah, I'd like to
Do
go
you
back in time
think-
and take that away.
Do you think that this might also be the cause of everyone just wanting a franchise? Because the entire reason, let's be honest, the reason this movie made so much money was not because of this movie, at least according to the critics. It was because of the name Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, but I don't think it had anything to do with why everybody wants a franchise now, because they didn't do another movie after this. I would agree with that if they had multiple Planet of the Apes come out afterwards, but we don't get another one for what, 20 years?
Which is kind of surprising the way they
Almost
squeak
20
them
years.
out now. Because they're like, oh, well, at least we made our box office. Nobody
Right.
liked it, but we're going to give you another one. You're like, Jesus. I asked no.
I do
And,
have an important question for the group. What the
Yeah.
fuck is Ghost World?
Yeah, let me run
yeah,
down this. Let me run down these, man. We got Planet
I
of
don't know
the
if I
Apes,
remember that.
Jurassic Park 3, America's Sweethearts, Cats
remember that one.
and Dogs,
That was a
Scary
funny one.
Movie 2, Legally Blonde.
Great
which
film.
I don't understand.
Number
why everybody
3.
loves Legally Blonde, but The Score. I remember seeing The Score.
Yeah.
Kiss of the Dragon.
Directed by Robert De Niro, not Kiss of the Dragon.
Oh, dear
yeah,
Christ
right.
in hell. Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within is
That is so
so
garbage.
shit.
This was a weird year.
Shit.
It was such
Hot
a bad
shit.
year.
We just
Weird year
needed
for
things this
movies.
year. I think what we're learning from this list is people just needed something to watch this year.
Yeah.
Every year, man. Look, this is what we should be learning from
No,
this
this is
list
when
is that
it started to get sad.
This is what this list is what you should take from this list is there's always bad movies that come out
all the time.
every year.
Was
there's a
Spider-Man
fuck
supposed to be
ton
this
of
year?
bad movies.
No, I thought that
I
was
think it
2000.
ended up 2002, right?
Yeah, 2002.
And this is pre 9/11. This is
Well, that's the
July
thing.
of
I'm just
2011.
remembering that they had
So
to
the
change
year just
the
got
trailer
worse.
for Spider-Man
Right.
because of 9/11.
Right. Yeah, because there's that scene where he like
Dude, that
Yeah,
was
where they
so
had to take it out
helicopter
of
in
the
the Twin
church.
Towers.
Yep. Yep.
And speaking
Stuck
of
between the
franchises, we see at number 2 on the box office is Jurassic Park 3. So obviously they were still trying to
Sorry.
churn out franchises.
No. Number 1.
No, number 1. I'm sorry. Excuse
This
my
is
blasphemy.
from when they were
181
released, not
million.
necessarily the rank.
Right. And I still think that Jurassic Park 3 is the best trilogy. I mean, best sequel from Jurassic Park.
Okay.
All the rest
I'm
of them
gonna
kind of
close my
fucking
computer now.
stuff.
Over the Lost World? Are you insane?
That's gonna require a whole other podcast.
We'll revisit
Gymnastics
that.
beats dinosaurs. What's to not like?
Jeff Goldblum's back doing his You
Oh.
gotta love that.
Yes.
Steven adds a lot to that, but yeah, that I feel, that's definitely a future Doesn't Hold Up episode.
Oh yeah.
The Lost
I'll
World.
make plenty of haikus.
I didn't say it holds up. I just said I like it better.
We'll be the judge of whether or not it's okay.
But I do want to talk about like the content. Sorry, no, we were about to say.
I want to go through first thing. I want to get it in first thing. KirstYn,
Yes.
who is your MVP of this movie?
Let's do it.
Oh, it's Paul Giamatti all the way.
Ooh.
Oh, definitely.
He's entertaining. He has the right movements for the, orangutan vibe that he's given. He's a complete scuzz bucket of a character. And you don't want to root for him, but you're just entertained by him. And Helena Bonham Carter's ape face freaks me the fuck out. So somebody on a Reddit forum, I was just kind of poking around the internet to see if there were any like modern day opinions like ourselves. And somebody said she looked like Michael Jackson in a Karen wig.
God.
I
I was just literally
so
letting
good.
you finish because I'm telling you, I literally was about to say that.
I was getting there.
I
Michael
literally
Jackson
was
in a
about to say
Karen
that
wig.
when
I
you
was
said how she
crying.
looked crazy. But you know what? I don't know what you were about to ask us earlier, but I got to talk about we got to do the costumes and all that stuff. But I want to do the MVPs still. Jeff, who was your MVP for this movie?
So glad you asked. Paul Giamatti, a racist orangutan, he makes the movie.
Was he racist?
I couldn't fit slave owner into the haiku.
Oh. Fair enough.
Yeah, I guess slave owners.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, yeah, that's hand in hand. Never mind.
The human race. So he is racist.
Yeah.
My bad.
I mean, we could easily throw a speciest orangutan.
Well, no, we are the human race, right?
Yeah,
we are the human race. So he's racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still works.
Still works. You got it. Haiku.
1, 2, 3,
You've
4 more haikus. Let me know if you need them, guys.
No.
Need is a strong word.
Man, we need that drop right here. You've been haiku. I might have to start that for the Drunk Bands podcast. I might just have to.
You're just gonna encourage Jeff to write more haikus.
That's what I'm doing, man. I'm producing the show, Alex. I don't
Oh,
know.
my God.
I already wrote one about Jurassic Park: The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, and Alex.
So my MVP,
17
Thank you.
syllables.
He says
Anyway.
another haiku.
I don't know what you're doing, man. I don't know if you read the credits, but I'm a producer. I'm gonna get all the haikus I can get.
My MVP is gonna be Helena Bonham Carter. It was really close to being Paul Giamatti because I think that he has a great performance in this and a lot of not great performances in my opinion. But I think Helena Bonham Carter is like just one of the most interesting characters in the movie. Like she actually has a goal and a drive, and she's
Yeah, to fuck that human.
Oh, we got to talk about how horny
get
Tim
that.
Burton is for Monkey
She's
Man
trying
Love.
to get that
But
human butt.
I mean, he locked that monkey
Oh,
down.
in it.
But
She's trying to get that
yeah,
human
I thought
butt.
I thought that she
Sorry,
was just
I
like really.
Scrolled up on this. It's all wrong.
Oh no, you're good. She's just
Oh, there we are.
She's just a really empathetic actor in general, and I think that shout outs to Rick Baker. He did a great job with the makeup and everything, but
Yes.
her performance really comes through.
And this is
the
after
makeup.
this is after what you call it? Fight Club, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was Fight
Yes,
Club.
yeah.
Yeah. But this was the first time. This was how Helena Bonham Carter and Tim Burton met, and she actually.
But they started. I think that's a lot because they were talking about dating in the like making of.
Yeah, I think they were already
Well,
together, but they
there-
were in,
but
like,
But they
just
filmed the
early
making
stages.
of
I'm
after
just saying,
they've
Alex,
made the
there was-
movie.
no,
I'm just saying it's like crazy how these facts change over time and then they get re-represented in different ways. It's just I'm not saying you're wrong about what you're. I mean, where you're getting your
But-
information. I'm just saying it's crazy how they like to twist things.
Well, when I was doing the research, apparently he was dating Lisa Marie, who's also in the movie, and that like Helena Bonham Carter and him like got together during the movie, and they.
Oh,
just,
it's like an
was,
underworld situation, like Kate Beckinsale and
Yeah,
Michael
I'm
Sheen.
trying to tell you what he doing. What he
Mhm.
doing there is saving himself some money because he's trying to say, "Oh well, I wasn't really like dating her till like after we started the movie." Yeah, okay, nigga.
Do you
Tell that lie
think
to
on
somebody the
nights?
fuck else, nigga.
Semantics.
Do you think on nights when he wanted to get real freaky, he had her dress up as the monkey in
Yeah.
the bedroom?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looked like
I
that
think he
upsetting
probably
scene
has
from
her
the
dressed up
movie.
as Edward Scissorhands,
Not
like a lot of the
big.
Johnny Depp characters just on rotation. He's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah,
yeah, he definitely makes her dress up like all the male characters.
put on the
in his movie.
Ichabod for me, baby.
The really creepy one is when she comes to bed as the headless horseman.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which you cannot find that cartoon anywhere. Go
Oh.
Yeah, you
buy.
can.
That's
It's on
unfortunate.
Disney.
No, not the actual headless horseman. Like
Yeah,
you got
the
the Ichabod
original one?
crane. Yeah, they have the Ichabod crane, not the headless horseman.
Oh,
I thought the
Okay.
Ichabod crane was the original.
I thought that.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's one where they have a Ichabod crane cartoon.
Mm.
It's not
Yeah.
the headless horseman. It's
Different. No, yeah, it's on there. It's
Unless
on my
they just
playlist
added
because I'm
it.
obsessed
Unless
with
they
it.
just added it.
Yeah.
Because I
No,
mean,
no.
it wasn't on there last year.
I am your Sleepy Hollow historian.
Isn't
I
that
got you.
story
wasn't on there last year.
technically a poem?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a haiku.
Washington Irving,
It's a haiku.
Who's
based
your
on
MVP?
real life Hessians. Though they were some scary dudes.
Who's my
Look that
MVP?
up.
I don't want to look up the Hessians.
My MVP is Michael Clark
I look
Duncan.
scared.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Okay. He was where, you know what, this is gonna, I don't know how to say this without it sounding racist. He was rocking the shit out of that costume. He was doing a good job. He had me convinced he wasn't, I'm gonna shut the fuck up because I don't know how
that
to
nigga
give
looked
him
like an
his
8.
flowers. Yes, thank you.
That nigga looked like an 8. He
I
looked
think
goddamn...
they did the best job on his movement coaching and his makeup. Let me put it that way.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna get into after that. I'm glad you let me go last instead of trying to make me go first all the time. But because I wanted to go right into the costume design. I mean, god damn. Like you were mentioning, they had movement coaches for everybody.
Yeah.
And they moved according to the type of ape that they were supposed to be representing.
Yep.
The way everybody was standing and walking, it was just incredible.
Awesome.
The way that they depicted everybody running when they were running,
the jumping like,
yes, a lot of wire tricks, very little CGI used in this. Even the running wasn't CGI. They had people on the little tracks while they were running.
And the fun fact, that last scene where they're running behind the horses, the reason they move so fast is because they had them on these long sheets that were being pulled ahead by horses.
Yeah. I love that little trick. They use that in Underworld. Or they use it in a lot of movies to make
they use it in a lot of them.
Fast.
Yeah.
They used it in
but there are very few movies that use it effectively.
Underworld did it
and
first.
Like, well, because sometimes you can really tell. You're like, oh, now come on now. It looks like you're just moonwalking on a sheet of paper. Like,
yeah, it's got to be done right.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
it's like you look like the world's shittiest earthbender. Come on,
right? Yeah.
And since we're talking about the makeup, I do want to bring up the travesty that this film was not nominated for best makeup for the Oscars.
Yes.
What won that year is, it's fair. It was
if it didn't get nominated.
Yeah, I honestly, I thought it was nominated. I was like, God damn, it didn't even get nomination. But just like, I was like, what got nominated instead of this? And Lord of the Rings won. I was like, okay, well, that's fair.
I can't be mad at that.
If you think about the orcs,
that was the year my life changed.
It didn't even get a nomination, though. That's wild.
Yeah, that's fucked up. The A Beautiful Mind got a nomination.
Beautiful Mind?
Yeah.
What was the makeup in
my
that?
dick.
Like,
goddamn
why?
hair color?
They just went down to Universal Lot and grabbed a whole bunch of oversized coats. That's all they did to do the fucking Beautiful Mind. They grabbed some fucking button downs that had coffee stains on.
Oh man.
Wait, but that's
but at the artful way that they coffee stains.
That's the costume department. That's not even the makeup department.
Right.
True. Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
I'll tell you
Wait, did Russell Crowe, did he get put through like the decades in that movie, or was it just the one?
Does it matter?
It was just
okay.
Is it on par with making a person a living?
Well, they did age him, but it wasn't to the point where like they show him as an old man.
So it was kind of like
end of the movie, like
Maestro's aging process, where I'm like, it's still fucking Bradley Cooper,
which is still nothing compared.
No, it's not that because it just happened at the very end of the movie for like 28 seconds. Like, is the literal end of the movie. Benjamin buttoned it.
I was trying to find the clip or like a picture of it, but when I typed in Russell Crowe old person makeup, A Beautiful Mind, what popped up was just top 10 worst makeups in all movies.
Sir. So here we go. Here we are. 24 years later, 23 years later, talking about it. And guess what?
Think about.
Guess what? That didn't hold up for sure.
At all. We're still bitching about it. 20-something years later.
Yeah, a beautiful mind coming to a doesn't hold up episode near you.
I'll tell you what, I think the makeup and costumes from this movie are better than the James Franco Planet of the Apes CGI, hands down.
There's something more tactile about it for sure. Like you were saying, Kirsten, like something is a little bit space jammy about seeing those CGI characters interact with human characters. Like we just know that's a cartoon. It's not a real character.
Don't you ever disrespect?
Did you not see
don't you ever speak
the credits in Space Jam? That was Bugs Bunny.
Don't you ever speak negative about Space Jam in here.
I can't
Not
believe
Michael Jordan
That's not a-
Space Jam.
That's not a negative comment.
Not Michael Jordan Space Jam.
That's not a negative comment.
You mean
Not
the
Michael
only
Jordan.
Space
Not in
Jam?
this
I
house.
agree.
Keep saying
Yeah.
that.
Not in here,
I don't acknowledge that they made a sequel for what or a remake
Exactly.
or whatever the fuck that was.
right?
All
I don't
right.
even
We
know
didn't
what
want
you're
it.
talking
Damn fucking right.
But you can't. I don't know what you're talking about, but you can't see the review for it on the on the Drunk Panthers channel.
Yeah,
It is on there.
if you can find what they're talking about, it's a good one.
You said your MVP was who?
Helena Bonham
Helena
Carter.
Bonham
Helen
Carter.
Bonham Carter.
He's
Yeah, that's
simping
right.
for the chimp.
Yeah, so let me
What?
talk. Let's talk about that right now.
Simp for the chip.
Performance.
Simp for the chip.
Since we kind of we went on through the MVPs and
Mhm.
whatnot. Let's talk about the performances, man.
Yeah.
Um,
You want to talk about the main guy? Or no?
the main guy. Yeah, well, we can talk. We can start
Mark?
with the main guy.
We're
What was his
talking about
name in
Caesar.
this?
Captain Leo Spachemin.
Oh
I don't
Lord.
know. It was not
Dr.
Captain. It was not
Spaceman.
Captain Spaceman.
It should have been. It would have been more interesting. Actually, I don't remember what his
Spachemin.
name was supposed
It
to
was
be.
Captain
I just
Leo
kept
something.
Well,
calling
it
him
is
Mark.
Leo.
Yeah.
This is Captain Leo Spaceman.
Hang on. It's
It's
Now I feel like
Captain Leo Davidson.
Davidson.
Oh,
But Chemin would have
that's
been so much better,
white
been so
bread
much better.
generic.
right?
It's like
They're like-
Panisi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need a
Panisi.
name.
Panisi.
Okay,
Eddie
Tacoma FD.
Panisi. Yeah, exactly. Eddie Panisi.
Guess we're not getting another season.
Oh, are we not? I think we
Mm-mm.
are.
I just got sad.
Canceled.
But
Oh,
yeah.
maybe that's why they had that big rap party. They had this big rap party at a restaurant. Marcus was there.
Oh, cool.
So it was just like
Mm.
all of them hanging out together at a table. It wasn't
Okay,
really
well,
like,
go slip Lucy or whatever the blonde's name is my number. She's gonna be
Oh,
so
man.
disappointed.
I wasn't there, so I can't help you out. But next time, I got you.
Fine, I
Um,
guess give it to a chimp. Whatever.
How did you feel about Marky Mark's performance in this one?
I honestly don't have a problem with his performance. I mean, he speaks like
He's just there.
42 times.
Yeah, he's
Like,
just
maybe-
there.
Like he doesn't say any real words, really. I don't believe that he's actually the main character. You know what I mean?
No,
It's
he's
course
just
not.
there to
No,
move
no,
the
no.
plot along.
Yeah.
well, hold on. He's not there. He's not the main character until the third act. And
you're
I
right.
think that that's just because Tim Burton was like, wait a minute.
Oh, right. There's humans in this movie.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh, wait, I haven't talked about this nigga one time. Well, maybe we do have to get him off of here, huh?
I
We
will
have to get him
say-
off of here. Wait, what if we did get him off the planet? Okay.
We did.
So I do
Yeah.
think that his role, I mean, he played his role very well. He didn't do anything to make the movie bad.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like the movie's
Yeah.
bad, it's not because Mark Wahlberg's in it. It's
Right.
because
Honestly,
of a lot of
it's-
other factors.
He's literally just
There's
there.
one big one. I'll say this: it was pretty impressive how well he was able to emote using only his nostrils. He flared his nostrils so much in this movie.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't give him anything to say. Like,
Mm.
there's like that's not on him to write words or make words
Right.
where words aren't. So I just feel like they just did him a disservice, you know.
Yeah, but
with
even
his
if you're given
character, with his
limited
character.
dialogue, acting is still acting.
Well, I mean, what do you want him
And
to do?
he
His
can't act.
character literally is just
He's just
Scared
there.
the
That's what
whole
I'm
time.
saying. He's
Exactly. I'm
just
just saying, so
there.
I'm just
His
saying. So what is his
character-
character
Yeah,
supposed
it's not
to do?
his fault in this movie.
Okay.
I'm saying all future movies that Mark Wahlberg
But-
stars in
Okay,
are his
okay,
fault.
yeah,
Here's
yeah.
here's a question.
Sucks ass.
How about this? Here's a question. How is it that the actual astronaut spaceman can come off as the dumbest person in the movie?
Right.
Well,
That's
yeah,
all
it's
I
funny.
do.
that's a hard stretch.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You're coming off as the dumbest person in the movie because you are
We're
around.
written dumb.
Well, it's not just that, but it's like, what will we do? What are you gonna do when you end up in a planet of
Mm.
8 people? I'm just gonna shut the fuck up.
Rule.
I don't know what
I'm
y'all are
gonna
gonna do. but
rule.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up for a good bit of the time
Right.
because
I'm gonna find
what
the
the
bananas.
absolute fuck?
I'm gonna set a
is
Scooby
going
Doo
on?
trap, and I'm
And
gonna
I
win.
I just feel like there's
Yeah.
nothing to perform. There's nothing performance worthy of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, because they weren't trying to tell the same story that they told at in
In
68.
the original one, yeah.
So you're trying to tell a different way, and like, where do I go from here? Which is what I like what they did, which was tell the ape story, right? Like, we're not going to follow this white man around and try to do all this white man stuff, like white savior type thing. They went in the direction of like, oh, we're gonna talk about the apes and the politics that the apes have and the culture that they have, and try to show them off as much as possible. Which at first I was like, damn, this movie ain't got nothing to do with this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do we get introduced to it? Why do we get introduced to him? But then I was like, you know what though? We are learning a lot about their culture in a very short period of time. You know, we got to get back to the action.
This movie is evidently a lot more like the book than the original.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Especially
got into some trivia.
Yeah, I didn't hate Mark Wahlberg's performance in this. You know, he's just doing, you know, he's just kind of like, he's just baseline, just like sort of out here doing himself. But I didn't like the character. And even like from like the beginning. Cause like, and I feel like this, you know, this is obviously a writing in the beginning. This is obviously a writing issue. But like from the beginning, like he seems like he fucking hates this ape, like this chimpanzee.
Yeah, he's so evil.
He's like, you're a fucking stupid ass monkey. Do the job right.
Well,
and then
stupid
like,
monkey doesn't get magic tricks.
And then like when he disappears into the cloud, they could have sort of made it seem like, you know, he has a really strong connection with this chimp, and they've been training a lot, and he's like, I'm going in there to save him. But they made it seem more like it's like, oh nah. He even says never send a monkey to do a man's job. Right. And I was like, well, so you're doing so just more stuff out like he was trying to prove something than like go save him. I thought that
I didn't feel that. Those are the words that you could say, but I feel like he was definitely trying to go get him because he's like, yo, that's my monkey.
Yeah, but the problem was there was no like emotion behind that.
Yeah, but y'all were trying to make it seem like America. Y'all are trying to make it seem like here on this planet, we are good people, and in America, we just love animals and all this shit. This is just how people are, though. This is how people the fuck are. I don't think that. I think
not everybody.
I mean, if this is the main character, you could make him a little bit more.
Like,
he's an astronaut.
You think that people who I'm just saying, like, people.
He's an astronaut. He is a trained scientist, and they're like, "Hey, this is a weird. Somehow there's a storm in outer space. The test animal went through it. That's no good. We should hunker down." And then he goes, "I'm gonna go get my monkey." And the thing is, the way he delivers the line is, "I'm gonna go get my monkey." Like, it's not like, "No, I got to get Pericles." It's just like,
the dude sent his superior officer sent the goddamn thing out there when he told him not to. So, I mean, to say he doesn't care about the animal is a little bit of an exaggeration when he's literally telling him not to do it. And he literally was supposed to send another monkey out. We keep being disrespectful calling monkeys, but he was supposed to send another chimp out. And then he decided not to do that. He decided to risk his own self instead of risking another chimp. Which
I'm saying he's a bad astronaut.
I'm just saying, so if he didn't give a shit about them, then he would have just sent another motherfucker out there. Like, just keep sending them until one of them come back.
It's not Mark Wahlberg's decision to send them out, but there's a fundamental problem with
it. Was his decision to break protocol.
Right.
Nobody asked him to go out there. He was supposed to send another.
That's true. He did go after the chimp.
He went.
However, it's very clear that they don't give a fuck about Captain Leo, because there's not a whisper, there's not anything for him. They're like,
do you think he disappears through and they're like, dude, thank fucking God?
Well, no, because they ended up staying kind of wait for him.
Dick.
I would have left. They should have just left him.
And there's a fundamental problem with just like the mission in and of itself, because like, why send a living creature into this anomaly anyway? Y'all don't got no probes. How far into the future is this?
One of those rovers.
Y'all can't figure out what's going on in this space, like this anomaly that they admittedly don't know really what the fuck it is.
It's anomalous.
It's anomalous. But and also just to talk about the timey-wimey wibbly wobbly of it all. I looked up I looked up how the time purple cloud works. because it's a little confusing. But
A little confusing, nigga. It don't make no sense.
it does make a little bit of sense, but I'm not trying to think about it too hard.
But go ahead.
It makes sense if you're just making up your own rules.
It doesn't make time travel sense.
Suspend reality.
Get into it and explain to the people. Explain it to me, because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
So apparently, going into the cloud, there's like sort of opposite reactions to how you come out time wise. So if Pericles goes in and then Marky Mark goes in, let's say 10 minutes afterwards, because that correlation, Marky Mark shows up earlier in time on the other side of the portal, and Pericles shows up after. So like the later you go into the portal, the further back in time you'll be. That's why when the mothership went into the portal, that like we're assuming several years later, because the dude was an old man makeup in the video where the distress signal was sent. That's why they went thousands of years into the past, because it was like, I guess presumably several years after that incident. So there's math there. And there's some sort of logic.
Well, that's what they did in damn, I hate that I'm about to say this. That's what they did in Bodies. So you go through the time portal, but you end up, so that's a theory of time travel, is you can go through the portal, but 4 different dimensions of you separate, and so three of you go forward, one of you goes back, and one of you's in the present, because time is fluid. It's happening all the time. Everything's happening at once. So when one of you goes through the portal, now 3 of you go forward, one of you goes back.
Crazy. Okay.
Math.
That makes that show more interesting too.
So
not that it wasn't interesting, but
they explained exactly what I just said. What do you mean?
There's a lot going on in that show. I didn't pick up on everything.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop writing and editing while you're watching a show.
Things will come out.
Well,
because there's shows that you actually have to be paying attention to, and I don't think
maybe try it just once next time.
That's actually why I go to the movie theaters, because like, if I'm at the movie theater, I don't have a computer in front of me.
Right? Yeah, you can't take notes, because you'd be that weird dude taking notes in the middle of the movie, and then they'd be like,
"You know what? Madam Web didn't deserve my attention. I took the fucking notes." But that being said, the mothership technically must have gone through or appeared on the other side between 50 and 500 years before Marky Mark, because that's how long it takes for metal to start degrading.
So that means that it took them at least maybe like an hour or 2 before they went through.
Wait, okay, so then the ship crashed before him, and then he crashed, and then Pericles
Sminu.
He crashed later.
Sifu.
That's what we've got.
Samos.
Pericles. Yes.
And they
but they were on it.
Okay, so this is what happened. Because that's what I was just explaining.
My brain's gonna explode.
If you go through,
it's an inverse relationship.
If you go through the portal, you're not going.
Right? That's what she said. Noise.
You're not going forward though, right? Like you go through. The first one goes through. He goes backwards. Oh, you did something different. Okay, hold on.
If you don't put this on YouTube, you about to go.
We'll do it like a door. Okay, like this. The first one goes through. Shoo, right? He comes out.
I don't see it
here, right?
Do you know what a Mobius strip is?
This is the present, right?
Yeah.
You go through, boom, you get sent back here, right?
Gotcha. But your ship is moving differently because it's metal and not organic. Is that where we get the breakdown?
What I was saying is the metal. It takes metal between 50 and 500 years to start degrading naturally.
Right.
So with it being there and it's actually starting to crumble the way it is, that's how far before Marky Mark they arrived on the planet.
Well, yeah, he's basically saying because the metal
of the way.
The apes arrived on the planet, then creating this planet of the apes before Marky Mark gets there.
Actually, I think they were already there because this is a different planet. This is Earth.
No. It's just like you said, Jeff.
We're gonna have a breakdown.
The spaceship gets there first because they left last.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Spaceship gets there first.
Oh, so they said the rest of the apes.
Exactly. Spaceship has all the apes on
Okay,
it.
now we get it.
The
Okay,
apes get smart.
I get it.
They break the fuck out.
Yep.
They beat the shit and kill all the humans. And then they create their own society as they've gotten smarter and built.
Enough said. Fair enough.
Right. And then Marky Mark comes because he went through second. Right. And then here comes Pericles because he came next day, he went through first because
it's a Mobius strip.
And
but
I will say
good. I'm just saying that's a great point with the time though, with the metal. Because that's gives you a great idea how long it's been. So it's been thousands of years.
Yeah, the one of the apes, I think it is Helena Bonham Carter's character who says that ship has been there for Ari. She says Ari Gold. She says that she's been there the ship's been there for thousands of years. And I'm 100% positive that when after Marky Mark goes into the portal, there's like the distress signal that comes on the mothership's thing, and we see the cat or like the general or whatever commander in old person makeup on the video. So I think that it's
he's definitely years. In
well
they got there. It doesn't matter how long, nothing indicates how long it's been by the video. That just shows you how long they lived.
Well, it's how long relative
also
to
that was like
timeline.
the video of them going into the portal, like them. Oh, we're getting trapped in the portal.
That was them. No, that's not what it was.
Okay. But yeah, like there's a lot of timey-wimey stuff going on there.
Maybe oddly.
But the main the story of this movie, Mark Wahlberg shows up on this planet. He gets immediately captured by this of the apes
so quickly. He didn't have time to pee. There, sees him.
Yeah, he's immediately captured by these apes. Now, did you, in the original, I think it's like maybe 50 minutes before we see the apes. So there's like a little bit of a reveal.
Yeah, it's good 30 minutes.
Yeah, the movie's not long enough for it to have been that.
Yeah, it's like maybe 20-30 minutes. But yeah, it's a minute. It's longer than this. They get right into it. They're like, hey, guess what? It's a planet.
The original movie's an hour 52, so maybe.
This is fucking stupid.
Planet of Apes.
Sorry.
Rife with apes.
All the clips that we have are from some fucking stupid ass playlist. And this fucking idiot got the same bullshit on here like 15 fucking times. I should have did this shit before.
Yeah, people who do that are obnoxious.
This is bullshit.
But they definitely give us much more of a surprise reveal in the original Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes, because they crash land and they land in the water, and then they go the two survivors end up leaving and they traverse the desert and everything. Like, they're wandering the planet. They think the planet's barren, there's no one there, and it takes them a while before they get caught by the hunting party. And it's the same situation. Although I think they both immediately get shot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Taken the fuck out.
Yeah, because Charleston, right in the neck.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because the NRA.
Right in the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Gotta love it.
Speaking of Charleston, we do get a little cameo later
on
that
He's
also has to
it.
deal with guns. And I think it's a remarkable decision to put this 78-year-old man through 6-hour makeup.
Right.
You don't think about it at the time because you're like, oh, that's really cool. It's the guy from the original. But now I'm like, oh my God, elder abuse. He's laying in that bed because at the end of that process, he was probably like, I just want to go home.
I think he died 6 years after this movie.
Yeah, I think Planet of the Apes hastened his demise.
Washed.
No.
All right, so
this is washed, but I
do
want to show this.
I don't know. So this isn't 1-to-1, but although he is second build, Cornelius does not appear until 43 minutes into the original Planet of the Apes. So if he's the first ape we see, that's 43 minutes. Yeah.
This is washed. I don't know why.
Close that robe up, please.
He's wearing Michael Jackson's outfit.
This movie's full of Michael Jackson.
Oh man.
That's for the Moonwalker video.
And he does the thing where he says, damn them all to hell.
And he's got Michael Jackson's plastic surgeon in this too.
Damn them.
send them all to hell.
So you got too excited there.
Yeah.
Stroked.
I was like, did he
Oh,
bust
that
a
wasn't a
nut,
stroke.
or did
He
he?
finished.
Yeah, I was like, did he bust a nut or did he die? Or both?
And
Yeah,
it's
two things can be true.
interesting. It's interesting that Heston agreed to this one, because he fucking hated the. So the only reason he was in the sequel to the first one was
Money.
he well, no, he was contractually obligated.
Yeah.
So he demanded. He's like, I don't want to be in it for more than 15 minutes, and you got to kill me off, so I can't be in another.
Damn.
Yeah.
He pulled a Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He sure
Yeah.
did.
Straight
He's
up.
like, murder me.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because in this scene, apparently Tim Roth hated filming this scene because he hates guns and he hates Charlton
Mhm.
Heston.
He had a lot of
Wow.
trouble. Like he almost didn't do the movie because of it.
Yeah, it was like a big scuttlebutt, apparently.
Mhm.
Let me tell you something. Another line of horse shit. Because let me just tell you, he saw who was going to be in the movie when he fucking signed on for the movie. Just people who like to say shit after a fucking movie comes out. Hollywood is fucking crazy like that. Because they can't actually tell each other to their faces that they don't like each other or tell each other to go fuck themselves because they don't actually have the like gumption to do so. And people be afraid. Like,
I don't know.
want to tell Charlton Heston to go fuck himself, and then I can't work in Hollywood.
can't. He
ever
might
again.
have a
Tommy Lee
gun.
Jones came pretty close with Jim Carrey. He was
Yeah, but Tommy Lee
yeah.
Jones and Jim Carrey, that's like
about to tell him to fuck off a couple of times.
yeah, see,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's high. I'm talking about nobody punches up, everybody punches down. Hollywood punches down.
Shit rolls downhill.
Yeah, and so what I'm saying is Tim Roth just was scared to actually say something. He wanted that check because if he didn't want to work with Charlton Heston, all he had to do was not do this motherfucking movie.
Well, he might have wanted to work with him at first, and then he got on set, and Charlton Heston was a grade A bitch.
I would agree with that.
Wow.
I love how you almost started out. You're like,
agree.
should I say it? Fuck it, bitch.
I
Grade
agree
A
with
bitch.
I have no problems with that. And if he'd have said that'd have been fine, but that's not what he said. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't like when people recreate history as if like like nigga, we saw you do the movie, dog. You knew, like, most people don't know how movies get made. So he can say stuff like that and most people not actually care. But like, you saw the cast, you saw your scenes, y'all had a table read, and now you're saying when you got on set, you were like, I don't want to do this movie.
Yeah,
Money.
I wish I
All
knew
the
exactly
money.
when
Exactly.
Charlton. I wish I knew exactly when Charlton Heston was cast for this movie, because if it was like a last minute thing where it's like, oh, we got Charlton, we finally convinced him to show up for
Right.
one scene,
Right.
then that would be a different
They
situation.
showed up on they just showed up on Tuesday and said, let's get
He was
this
just there.
nigga in.
I mean, that happens
the
all the
makeup.
time.
Yeah.
Not with the makeup that they got to do. Not for this. And
Yeah, it would be like a good week in advance, and then they would get kind of set up.
you think
But we can
I'm
all
just saying.
agree we did not need to see his ape form with his chest just
We
hanging
didn't need
out.
all that. We didn't need
Put
that.
that old
Agreed.
I
ape
guarantee
chest
you that
away.
was a Charlton
Agree.
Heston. I guarantee you he chose. He's like,
Yeah.
I gotta have my chest out.
That's my thing.
thing.
I do want to talk about Fade because I love Tim Roth as an actor, but I really
There's a big
fucking
buck
did
coming
not.
there.
I did not fucking like his performance in this. Like his voice, the makeup looks incredible. We already talked
Yeah.
about that, and
He looks
he's doing a
scary.
lot with the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His face.
But his character's
Face,
kind of
no
whack.
face.
But also his voice is so stupid.
Not Tim Roth.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, Tim Roth has a decent
Well, and
voice.
he adds like a bunch of extra like chimpanzee noises that some of the other actors didn't add
Right.
in. Like they're supposed to be like, sophisticated and advanced, and he's over there like, what's now?
Not him.
I'm like, you
He'll-
can't have prose and then in the same sentence.
know
It
why I
doesn't
can't
like
just
get it.
Do
Get
you
the lane.
think part of the bad acting was he was just in so much pain? Because he was actually like in a lot of pain from the being like hunched over like that. He ended up
Oh,
like
really?
like slipping a disc.
Yeah, it messed up his back pretty bad. And
Yeah.
a
You know
lot
what?
of the actors complained.
Maybe it was
And long
pain,
filming
but you know
hours.
what?
I think he
I'm
just
not giving him an excuse.
he picked the way he wanted his character to be, and he committed to it 1,000%. It doesn't
Exactly.
always work out, but he committed to it.
Exactly. I think
Oh,
that's exactly what
Damn, he
happened.
looks creepy.
creepy.
Just intense.
I agree. He looks sexy. I mean, creepy.
He voices your tone.
My feelings haven't changed. I still care about you.
Why is this shit so low?
Oh
When
God.
it turned it
I
up.
care about my father's influence.
I turned it all the way up.
And you're an ambition.
See? It's unnecessary.
I know about the trouble you caused today. I could have you arrested.
I do it again.
She's doing monkey sounds. I've never heard a monkey make the noise he's making right now. He's like,
I think you
Yeah,
gotta. I think you
he's
gotta go to
going
the zoo when they're in heat.
full
and go to the zoo when they're about to fucking murder someone. When they're in heat and they got rabies. Like, goddamn.
It sounds like
Well,
it's very cartoon monster type of voice. Like,
right, yeah.
Like,
And
it's
what
very
kind
much
of
within-
incel are you? I'll have you arrested because I hit on you and you said no, bitch.
It's almost like he's a dictator.
You know what?
Yes,
Almost.
but still.
Do you want to
know
hear a
what?
haiku about it?
No.
I have a
Oh
theory.
gosh, no.
I have a theater. I have a theory about this.
Okay.
Tim Roth didn't get to be Batman. So he used this voice. He was like, I'm gonna get this voice off.
I gotta get it off my chest.
and ideas.
Exactly. I'm gonna get this voice off. This is the first time I've been able to do this shit.
I'm gonna
I
have
made a
you
choice in
arrested.
1987 when they passed off me for Batman.
And in 1994 and in 1995.
It just, he just had to, like, just random times when he's talking, this voice just comes out of him. And he's like, I gotta exercise those demons.
Oh,
I am the
man.
Nite. I'll have you arrested.
And then
Cool.
I mean, he did all of it. I think he did all of it as his
Human
Batman.
yeah, I
Didn't they ask him? Didn't he auditioned for? He had to have auditioned.
I'm sure.
For
Yeah,
Batman.
he's one of those like
Oh,
yeah, he's
everybody-
the right age, he's the right complexion. I'm
Everybody
sure.
auditioned
Right,
for
yeah.
Batman.
Yeah.
Nigga.
Yeah.
But
But you could tell he
Marlon
thought this was
Wayans-
going to be his Oscars moment. Like this was going to go, it was going to go
Oh,
up against
yeah.
Lord of the
Man.
Rings. And they were going to,
Yeah.
yeah, get it. No.
Yeah, because you got, it's a huge movie. It's like a
Yeah.
big, huge. It's a major part of cinema history. So,
and I-
yeah,
I
I'm
will
sure he
say
thought that
this.
he was getting an Oscar.
A lot of times, if you're the best actor in a bad movie, that's better than being a good actor in a great movie.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
sometimes
'cause
For
you
your
don't
career,
see
for
that.
your
not-
Hold
career.
on,
Yeah.
hold on. Was that a haiku?
Is that an accident?
Was that- did-
I
No,
better not
no.
have been.
But I've
Have you
got two.
committed?
I've got many more if you want. I've got one about Thade's comb over.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I'm calling the police, Jeff. No.
Monkey comb over. Hair club for monkeys would help. Maybe he'd be nice.
Oh, 'cause
Hair
he's
club.
Optimistic.
balding.
I like how it's optimistic at the end.
Yeah.
There needs to be like the more you
Yeah,
know.
why is he balding? Do apes bald when they get older?
Yes, actually.
Oh shit.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, then sit
don't
in
know.
the corner and think about
I
what
did
you
learn
just
how
said.
old they live to like 35, 45 years old. Though.
Mhm.
That is.
So that's like a lot of monkeys over time. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
to get to this time where we at in this movie, man, I want to know all the lore. Like all
That's
the
kinda
battles
sad.
that have been
His-
fought.
And that's
His
did
dad
we
is
get
like
to this?
ancient in passing and he's only 45. He's over there like
yeah.
yeah, this motherfucker can't walk.
He lived to a ripe 37. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What did you guys think about
Yeah,
the
what if he was 28?
right.
what did you guys think about the world building in this? Do you feel like sort of like you felt like you were ingratiated in this world? Did you feel like it was a cool way
Some
to
people
develop
choose to
this
see
universe?
the evil in this world, but I choose to see the good in this world. So I liked it.
Hang on, I'll make that into a haiku.
Yeah.
I think
Here's
some
the-
of the sets were really cool, but I feel like watching it now, there maybe wasn't enough of the right world scenes because it felt very like you were stuck in that tight little like condominium area for a bit
Right.
of the movie.
Yeah.
The condo, the
Just like,
treehouse
You
condo.
could totally tell that it was, not that we don't all know that movies are made on sets and sometimes they're in these big, huge airplane
Mhm.
hangar style buildings.
What's-
However, you should still feel like maybe it's not And it felt
Clever
very
comma.
much like they had repurposed either the Munchkin Village and smushed it together with dinosaurs, the set, and came up with that clay weird LA condominium.
Well, I'll say this:
and it was flat as fuck. It was just
yes,
the same staircase over and over again.
Well, I think that something that would have helped it is if when we're seeing the Monkey City, especially when there's that one scene where you see it from outside, like there's like that big wall. If they had shown it during the day,
during the day would have helped.
That would have made it seem so much bigger, and less just like I think you had the perfect word for it, flat.
Yeah, let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all would have gotten fired from this movie because y'all have spent so much money right now. Because which is
keep
one
writing
of the,
haikus.
No, I'm just saying, like directing wise, that those were good decisions to save money, sacrifices to lose scale. So because if you do it during the day, now I have to either build this set or do it all CGI. And then when I do that, I'm going to sacrifice something. I'm going to lose
I get that.
quality.
Yeah.
No, I'm
but
just
I
saying,
think they spent money in the wrong areas is what I was trying to say.
well,
like there were some
this
set
is still
pieces that
2001. I don't think that they could have done much more than what they did, because and one of the number one things that I say, where did the money go though? Because see, so if they cut corners there, money went to makeup, but that money, like
writers,
just any Tim Burton movie, period. There's always a huge big budget movie, but like there's nothing to it. So I mean, if you ask me, he's just embezzling money, stealing from the studios. He's just stealing money from studios for me, because you don't see where I'm just saying
I was not where I thought that was going.
If you get 100, if I give you $150 million to do a movie and you spent 30 million of it on makeup,
100 million.
100 million on it. So I said, how much did I say? I said 150 million. So 100 million on the movie, and you spend 10 million of it on makeup and 10 million on salaries and 10 million on advertising. Well, then, goddamn, nigga, where did the rest of the money go? Like, shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just,
Wait, so what was the budget on this one?
100 million.
100 even?
Yep, according to the interwebs.
That's creepy. And then, hold on, let me do something here. Go on, boys.
And they're saying the James Franco was only 94 million.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like
cut some corners there.
And Tim Burton, I do feel like a lot of his films, especially leading up to this one, I feel like this film is kind of like a cornerstone in his career, where movies are less critically acclaimed. Oh, KirstYn is very excited.
I can make a point and then I research it. The point is correct. Fuck Planet of the Apes, because 93 million is what it cost them to make Fellowship of the Ring. So fuck your couch with that. Not you, Bill. Fuck Tim Burton's couch with them set pieces, because you had 7 million more, and they did a tremendous amount of world building. Granted, they did film in a beautiful location, but it was cheap to film there at the time.
I mean,
they could have
Planet of
filmed
the Apes
somewhere
had that
cheap.
option too.
They had that option. I'm just saying.
Well, it's just like
Tim
I said,
Burton
where did the money
mismanaged.
go?
You're right.
Like, where did the money go? He never spends the money. Like,
where's the money, Tim? Where's the money?
Fuck.
Well,
evidently, I hate a fucking Speed Racer, but goddamn.
Evidently, a lot
you can see where that budget went. You know, if I'm watching Speed Racer, I go, goddamn, they spent a lot of money on this movie.
I see where the ambition went, and to you guys' point, like
Tammy and the T-Rex.
Hey, that they use their money wisely for sure.
They did. They blew that budget up.
But one of the interesting things about this movie is just like the leading up to this 2001 film, because this movie was in pre-production and starting in the early 80s, when the Adam Rifkin, who directed Detroit Rock City, was one of the first people. Great movie. Was one of the first people. Was the first person to grab the baton on this Planet of the Apes reboot.
Bring it back, yeah.
Shake your wee wee.
Shake your wee wee. It went from
man. I should have said you said grab the baton.
Shake your wee wee. It went from Adam Rifkin. Oliver Stone was attached. Oliver Stone actually got $1 million to produce and direct this movie, and I guess he essentially got $1 million to do
And
nothing
he's
because
like,
that movie
you
never
owe
came
me
out.
99 more.
No, it's what happens as part of the
They're
union
like,
thing.
whoops.
He did.
He did the work.
I'm sure he
Yeah.
did all the work, but then they probably didn't use anything that he did or whatever.
Right.
But you
Yeah.
still got to get paid.
I would love to see your Oliver Stone Planet of the Apes.
You
movie.
don't know how many times that happens in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, it happens.
That shit happens so much.
Constantly,
So
yeah.
much money.
4 times
They'll
in
film a
history.
it's happened where
Sadness.
they filmed an entire movie, scrapped it, rehired the main actor, and refilmed the entire fucking movie. Like,
Yeah, it happens a lot. The
They
money spending in
finished
Hollywood
the
is crazy.
entire movie before he decided to go with the Scottish accent, and it cost over $1 million just to redo his lines.
And they didn't bump him off.
No.
Crazy.
nah.
But yeah,
It actually costs more to bump him off. You'd have to pay him his salary.
That's true.
Then you'd have to pay somebody else at
To
least
keep
what
him-
he's getting.
yeah.
Because that
Which-
dude's agent ain't gonna be no fool. He's like, no,
I
you
mean-
gonna give me at least because it's
That
Jack
paid
Black.
off for
They were
them
gonna
in the
call
long
Jack
run.
Black. Obviously,
Yeah,
they
you
were gonna
call Jack Black. Nowadays, yeah, you
Mike
definitely
Myers?
call Jack Black.
Not like
Oh,
Myers.
No,
to
I'm
replace
saying
him.
if you fire,
Yeah.
if you fire Mike
Yeah.
Myers, you get Jack Black. Everybody knows that, man.
But
But
yeah,
if
like
Chris Farley dies, you get Mike Myers.
yeah.
That's a
Oliver
disturbing
Stone. Oliver Stone went through his hands. James Cameron almost made this movie.
Oh
Peter
my-
Jackson, we talked about him earlier.
They almost had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. Like, come
Yeah.
on
Love
now.
that.
That would have been
And-
like a total recall. We
That
love
monkey would have
it.
been amazing.
And that got the
Slammed it.
closest to being like what the movie was gonna be until
Mhm.
Dwayne Sellers, the main producer on the movie, got into a DUI where he killed somebody, and he killed 2 people, and
Ooh.
he ended up going to jail.
Hold on,
And
did
the
he-
production on the movie just
Wait a
kind of
minute. Did he
after
have
that.
a drunk accident, or he just got a drunk driving DUI,
sorry.
and then he killed some people?
sorry, yeah, I
He got
mislabeled
DUI, and then he
DUI.
grabbed his sword and went out and just ching.
Yeah,
So, yeah, he pulled an OJ shortly after.
Yeah.
murdering people. He started-
So I
Nice
can't believe I
taxi.
got this DUI.
Ghost ride the whip.
Bam, 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 bam.
The lesser known
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
side effect of a DUI.
Did he pull up like Yosemite
Uncontrollable
Sam?
violence.
He just pull up and just start shooting drunk.
John Wick
But-
did when they take his dog right after he got the DUI. Just shooting
Yeah.
people down.
But I only bring that up to say
Look
that
like Johnny Ringo. He just started shooting. No, I'm joking.
I only bring that up to say that, through all these directors, they had problems with Fox executives trying to
Mm.
interfere with what the movie was going to be. And I think that scared a lot of people off. And then I wasn't until
Crippled
these newer
Burton's
movies
movie.
where people were able
Jeez.
to make their own kind of vision, where we got
Y'all
like a
be
critic-
scared out here in Hollywood, man. People be scared.
yeah.
Just
Well-
make a good movie.
well,
Be
but I mean,
scared
look-
of not making a good movie.
Well,
How
but
about
look
that?
what happened here. The Fox set a release date before Burton filmed the first scene.
That's how you do
Oh,
it, though.
see.
Right? If that's
Yeah.
Fox being Fox,
No,
I
Yeah.
can't
what
believe
you
they've
do?
been doing that for
No,
years.
somebody like
you
him.
should take a
Somebody
breather.
like him, you got to do it.
Nah.
No,
I'm
you
trying to tell
needed.
you,
I think they
somebody-
learned from that, though. I think they started to learn. They were like, "Oh shit, we better make sure this might be viable,
No,
lest
you
we
can-
have to
this
pull a
is-
Batwoman."
This is why you. this is why-
Expunge it from historical record in all places, digital and physical.
This is why you set a date, especially for someone who's known for going over budget. The reason you set a date is
Oh, it's
because
because he's got to get it done, and he can't
exactly,
keep doing shit.
exactly, and also I can always push back a date.
Yep.
Like that's not impossible. What's impossible is to keep this nigga from spending all this motherfucking money. So, so you do have certain directors. You have to put those limits out there so
For
that
sure.
you
Yeah.
make sure they get it done.
The producer and director.
Now, if they didn't
relationship-
call him and tell him those dates, they just announce it. Now that's fucked up.
Yeah, but producer and director relationship. Yeah, the producer's there to just like sort of rein in the creatives and make sure that they
Right,
get stuff
yeah.
done on time. And we've
just
seen
saying, I
great
would've did the
movies
same
like
thing.
movies like Iron Man, and like this is so many great movies that have been made under these seemingly impossible restraints. Is like they were able to make something really, really great. But
Deadpool.
beyond that, I think there were a lot of creative inputs. Well, there was definitely a lot of creative inputs on like what the studio wanted from the movie that was sort of divorced from Tim Burton's view. Like, and I'm just to ask you guys, like, KirstYn, do you feel like this compared to other Tim Burton films, like prior to this film, do you feel like this feels like a Tim Burton movie?
In some places, yes, but in other places, it feels like the studios ultimately did kind of get their hands all up in it, and they're like, well, you can tell that there's certain places that he could have made it weirder, and that would have been super Tim Burton. Like, why not make this movie weird? This movie's weird already. Like, go for it. Make it weird. Like, some of the romance scenes, you could see they were like, no, you can't really kiss that ape. And you know he wanted to film it originally as that ape and him were waking up the next day. And she's pulling up the sheet, and she's like, that was great. You know he did. You know he wanted to go there. And he couldn't.
I know you got some trivia, Jeff.
That was the studio flat out shot that down. They're like, no, they can't even kiss, bro. Nuh-uh. And he's like, but I want to watch her fuck. And they're like, you need to stop now. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
He did get that kiss in, though. He did get that kiss in at the end.
But
he wanted
to y'all's point, he
had to kiss the white girl.
Right. Yeah, he had to kiss them both just to like make it. I feel like her character only exists so he can kiss her at the end to make it less weird that he kisses Helena Bonham Carter.
Well, she's supposed to be the new Nova, but she's no Nova.
And apparently, like I had read somewhere that there was like explicitly there's like supposed to be sort of a reverse King and I type of situation where Ari was like a queen, and there was like a very explicit love relationship between Mark Wahlberg and Helena Bonham
wigged
Carter.
Out by that.
It was like they were like, no.
Yo, son, you just came in my office talking about bestiality, bro.
Right? Do you think Mark Wahlberg was up for it though? Do you think like Tim Burton pitched it to him like, would you fuck this ape?
I don't think. Remember, he didn't know anything.
Yeah,
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark didn't read a damn thing.
He could have seen that day. He's like, yo, so you saying I fuck a monkey?
Yeah,
what's your mother doing?
He came in there and definitely like, yo, I'm not fucking a monkey. I'm not fucking no monkey.
Oh no, this was before.
And they're like, no, it's okay, Mark. We already told him you're not fucking a monkey. It's okay. It's like, but it says here that I fuck a monkey.
It's like, Mark, that's not what it says.
It's not what it says,
We
Mark.
allude to the fact that you could have if you had wanted to, but you didn't because you were a gentleman.
Mark's in there like, no.
That's what it comes down to ultimately, is that he's
monkeys?
just too much of a gentleman to do her like that because he knows he's gonna be leaving.
Yeah,
is what I got from it.
That's
what it should have been. It was harder and faster. Like the producers really had him put in a line like, absolutely not. We cannot. The planet I'm from.
I like that. That's where you went with
mess
it.
with our apes
because that's not where I went with it. I was like, to me, it looked like he was like, he kissed her because he felt like he had to. And then he was like, why did I just do that? Like his face looked when he backed away, he was like, and then he went over and kissed the white girl and he had the same reaction. He's like, I guess I gotta kiss you too now because you are here. I mean, I don't know.
There were a lot of weird emotional moments because like they're like obviously Marky Mark and Helena have like the most emotional connection because they have a lot of like deep conversations every time. Like there's like definitely a connection between them. Like even when he's holding her hostage, she's like rubbing his but and like one of the more interesting moments.
He never had no white dick out.
Hold me, master.
And one of the more
had no white dick. So what you gonna do? She gotta try. She gotta try and shoot her shot.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
She don't even know what turns.
They could have given her a prettier wig too. Like I know she was supposed to be a younger ape too. Like maybe like in her, what would be our equivalent to our
20s.
early, mid 20s, mid to late 20s.
So
and the bob they gave her made her look like she was at least 60. She was Golden Girls aping it.
Thank God they gave them. They weren't originally going to give the female chimps eyebrows. Thank God they changed their mind on that one, huh?
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't know.
I don't Oh, I
Whoopi
almost think it
Goldberg.
might have been better.
Whoopi
Nah, then I
Goldberg's
wouldn't
done
want to
just
vote
fine
him.
for the last 38 years.
Yeah, but she ain't a
Right?
monkey.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
She's
right.
an award-winning actress.
She
I
got
do forget about I forget what the point I was gonna make earlier, but I do want to
Well, we
ask
were
you guys
making
about
points.
yeah, I was definitely saying something, but I do want to ask you guys how you felt about like the change from the original Planet of the Apes movie from this one where the humans in the first movie can't talk, and in this one everybody can. Do you feel like that diluted the dramatic weight of this story, or do you think that
Yeah, a
that made it
little.
more interesting? Oh, sorry, Kirsten, I'll let you go
Oh,
first.
sorry. No, I was just thinking out loud, really. I was like, no, like a little. Like, I think if you were trying to keep that, well, no, because you know what they were trying to do was they were trying to draw some comparison, even though you know they didn't want to. They ultimately did draw some comparisons to the black slave trade. And black people spoke, necessarily read, but they spoke.
right.
They were reading. They were
Right.
reading.
We
But
could
yeah.
read, we
Yeah,
couldn't read
you were on the
English.
DL about a lot of
Right.
stuff, but you did speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's where they tried to put in the parallel. They're like, well, people would be like, slaves speak. I'm like, yes, but this is not what that story's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I think that the
excuse me.
original gave it some heaviness to it that made you kind of on edge and made you uncomfortable because they didn't speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that kind of worked with the hero dynamic of the characters that do come in that speak, and we've got to rise up. You just don't. I don't need to hear Chris Christopherson at the end of the day in anything. Maybe that's
Hey,
where it got bothersome.
he didn't last long.
He
But,
didn't. No, he sacrificed
I
himself.
think the reason they speak, well, I know the reason that they speak is because these humans are his co-workers, ancestors. I mean, his co-workers, what do you call it?
Oh yeah, ancestors
Not
Descendants.
ancestors,
or descendants. Yeah, descendants. Yeah.
Yeah,
Descendants.
these is his friends' descendants. So that's why they speak English, because they was alive. And
yeah, but
they
after
was from
thousands
Earth.
of years, you could have suppressed it.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
It kind of makes me more
Even-
curious about like the inter between times and this sort of potentiality of
Hold
the
on.
sequel, but
hold on. Because what I was saying is the first one is dumb. That's why the first one is dumb. Like the fact that they can't speak, why can't they speak? It's not explained. Why, and every society, civilization, and human civilization has had some type of language. So the fact that they can't speak is really fucking stupid, and at least give a absolute clear definitive reason as to why they can't,
Jeff's
So,
got his hand on his
I-
chin
I
like he has a
think-
thought.
Well, no. So I think it's interesting because
Long as
Either
it's
a
not a
thought
you've got
or it's
three. Do you want one?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Damn,
I'm
she said
sad
the
I
word
mentioned it. I
out.
shouldn't have said the word out loud. It's a buzzword now. Everybody drink when Jeff has a haiku.
Ooh, that's a
God.
great drinking game.
There's going
I'm
to be
in.
so many coming up. I'm going to get so bored.
I'm gonna take two right now.
I think so. It's interesting because we have the three different versions of it. We
Right.
have the original, the
Mhm.
68 one, which I agree with Bill. It never really made sense why they couldn't speak. I think I think what we're supposed to take from it is they're so afraid of the apes and they've been so kept down by the apes
They
for
just
so
stopped
long
speaking.
that they've lost their language because they've been afraid.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Through
they
decades of
speak,
verbal communication. Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But that still
get you a
doesn't make
volleyball to talk to.
sense in one. That still doesn't make sense in the idea of, well, when they're not around the apes, they would still talk, which is something that this movie does right. When they're
Right, yeah.
around the apes, they keep their mouths shut so they don't get beat. And the second they're away, they're like, dude, these motherfucking apes.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
we have, and now this is the last one, the War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
That movie was good, except for one part that was so stupid, which was they were just trying to connect it back to the originals.
Mhm.
And that was, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know heads up, spoilers for a movie that came out, 5 years ago?
Right.
Yeah.
it's like
Earmuffs.
8 years ago
I
now.
don't know.
2017.
But so like the impetus of that movie, the conflict of that movie is the simian flu is now making people basically dumber and more bestial, and that's how humans lost their language.
Yes.
So we have 3 different versions of it. I think the Tim Burton version makes the most sense personally.
Right, yeah, that you would just kind of hide
Yeah.
that you were more intelligent than they thought you were.
Exactly.
For
Slaves
your own
did
safety.
to your, which
Also,
is what slaves did to your point, Kirsten, earlier.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
a classic
It's like when they
example
put that
is
little girl in the cage in this movie, I was like, the fuck are they? What?
right.
Take
Yeah,
that
that was-
little white girl out of the cage.
A classic example of that is from what I've heard, it's not necessarily true, but the story behind where capoeira comes from. Brazilian slaves weren't allowed to know martial arts, so they disguised it as a dance.
Oh, it's like what, like the river
that's
dancing?
Yeah, except like instead of like pounding their feet on the floor, it's your face.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can you imagine
We've
if
all
you got
we've all
river
played
danced in the
Tekken
head?
2.
I was gonna
Right.
say,
Yes. Eddie.
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 Yeah.
Eddie's my
Eddie
guy.
just
That's the
did
only
this.
character you just
I was
mash
just-
buttons and then
You can just
whenever
tell he was just
fight.
waiting.
Yep.
That's all he did. That was my cousin's favorite. He would
I-
always use him. I'm like, if you don't pick another goddamn character.
Well, but
He's
the
the
thing
only
was,
black
you could kick
character.
his ass real fast.
Right.
Well, yeah, because he's just
I will say that I did like the War for the Planet of the Apes idea of it. And I think that it was very much
No, I'm joking.
it was very
That Caesar can hear sign language. I agree.
now that
it does make more sense in well I like the idea that's in contrast to the movie we're talking about now, the 2001 Planet of the Apes. If they, or even the 68 Planet of the Apes, where if they didn't talk around the humans but they had sign language and that's how they communicated, as opposed to speaking the language that the apes did. Also, I found it very wild that everybody speaks English, but
What?
That's
What's so
what
weird
they
about
came there
that?
speak.
Mhm.
Everybody spoke English on the ship. That's why everybody speaks English.
yeah,
I'm just saying they learned from them. They had the
Mhm.
caretakers. They got smarter, so that's why they spoke English.
right.
And then
but-
they cut their vocal cords.
But like I do feel like that the new war movies, I know that this is definitely post COVID brain, but like since we dealt with a pandemic and also a mutation of said pandemic, that definitely
Over and over again.
hit pretty hard when I was watching it again. It's like you don't really know what this simian flu is gonna do, several years down the road.
So
and
you're
how it
saying the
changes.
government made the simian flu just like COVID? Gotcha.
It's I'm sorry, just to say at the beginning of the second Apes movie where they had like
Rise?
voice, Rise, when they had the voice
Dawn.
spots, whatever. I know it's hard because Dawn should be the first one, but as
Right.
far as titles
They're
go,
the names are too long now. Let's just say that, by the way.
it's getting a little long in the tooth. It's like just call it Planet of the Apes 4. It's
The
fine.
kingdom of the planet of the. I think they're still apes.
The ape from around the corner
Just
who
give us
didn't love
numbers.
that one ape, but she loved him.
But
Number
there
5.
was a little audio clip at the beginning of the montage in the first one where someone was like, "I bet that this simian flu was made in a goddamn lab."
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not.
but
That's
that's the
not
thing.
how it went at all.
But it was.
That's not. But I'm just saying that's not how the conversation went at all. The guy said he bet that monkeys gave it to us, and then the girl says, "No, it was made in a government lab."
I wasn't talking about that conversation. There's a audio clip at the beginning of this the second movie
When
where
they're doing the
just, like,
montage.
when they're doing the montage and they just like have some
we're
like
gonna
radical
need a
right person.
montage.
Like,
In a
I know that
lab.
this was made in a lab, and then that's when they have the exposition that it was made in a lab. And,
Yeah.
all the
I mean,
stuff.
people forget that Obama, was prepared for a pandemic.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Bush
yeah. but-
started putting
Actually,
those
even showed a clip of
preparations
him like
in
talking about that.
place, and
Yeah,
then
they
Obama
used
took
they
it out.
used his clip
Yeah.
of where he was talking about it. Yeah,
That was with his
I'm
Kenyan
done,
birth
I'm done
certificate,
talking
right?
about this fucking movie because that's not the movie we're talking about. Fuck that movie.
We keep straying away from this. It's like we're trying to run from the Planet of the Apes
No,
2000.
yeah, y'all just keep going off into the other shit. Fuck that movie.
Hello.
We go
Ignore me.
Let's do talk about like the ending of this movie, because like there's not a lot of plot, because this movie moves kind of fast.
It does,
faster than it feels like too, or it feels faster than it is. I should say it's a 2-hour movie, and it's like what?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because the
Where's
second
Bodega?
hour, like they spend a lot of time in the desert after like all the humans escape. But Mark Wahlberg, he
planning
escapes
out
with
where they're gonna get him.
Yeah, he escapes with blonde lady and Paul
Not
Giamatti
Nova.
and Helena Bonham Carter, not Nova.
Yep.
Hashtag not Nova, and they go out into the forbidden zone, where we find out the history of, I guess, the creation of life on this planet. Like the origin of
what was his name? Bill, you said it earlier.
Simu.
Simu. Yeah.
Simu. Thank you.
I will wait for Simu to come back. We wait for the return of Sminu. Sminu.
It's Kalima.
By the way, his flight suit broke down real fast.
Right? It
That's
looks like a mummy.
shitty flight suit.
Look like Imhotep.
He did get thrown around by gorillas.
Yeah, that'll do it.
It's made to withstand re-entry. Come on.
Oh, is it?
It's made so
It's
made so he can fall out of the space capsule and make it home just fine. I threw my
fall out,
by
but
accident.
not get beat up by a gorilla. That would be like if you got in a car accident and then you got home and a gorilla then straight beat your ass.
Yeah, then I'm gonna sue whoever made my fucking
You were fine and then you weren't.
I just want to point out how amazing the sentence "gorilla pulled up and straight beat your ass."
The great phrase.
Where would you hear that? Where would you hear that phrase if not anywhere but
beat
the
the
drunk
brakes
Banthas?
off of you? Just
Like,
is
where would
right
you hear
there.
that?
Where would you hear that?
Walk
Nowhere
in
else.
the door.
I just want to point out this scene here. We were talking about the running.
Stupid fucking kid. Should have let him die.
Hey, when you said that, I thought that was Mark Wahlberg saying, "Stupid fucking kid. How did you fucking get stuck out here?"
How do your mother for me?
So yeah, this is. I mean, we haven't gotten a chance to really show many clips and show these. I mean, this costume design. And whatnot.
Yeah, it's pretty
It really
incredible.
is spectacular.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
These
The
are
armor
real
is
people.
neat.
This is no CGI. They
Right.
had hundreds of extras outside
Mhm.
in the fucking heat in the desert.
God.
And to your
Dress
point, this
Apes.
is kind of the last, and this is another reason why
Last
this
dragon.
movie is like a sort of a cornerstone in just filmmaking, because this is one of the last huge makeup movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because even with
yeah,
Lord of the
they
Rings,
cheated
like
a lot
that's,
now.
yeah, they cheat a lot. Like we give praise to like some Star Wars movies where it's like, oh man, like 30% of the movie was like really practical.
Yeah.
But like this is one of the last movies that had like this big scale of intense makeup. And 10 years after this, Rick Baker pretty much retires and sells all of his archives. I think he won his last Oscar was for Wolfman, which was not a good movie.
Somebody must have pissed him off.
Benicio
Why
del
would you give
Toro,
away
that
all
was
your
some
shit?
He was
oh
done.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah, he was just done. Like,
yeah, he was.
why
Yeah,
would
Right.
you give away your shit?
The
Somebody
Wolfman
made
killed
him.
his vibe.
Somebody,
he was so
Everybody's
sad
fine.
at the end.
Well,
somebody made him so
so-
angry.
Real quick, something that I think is important. I liked. So when we brought up Wolfman, it always makes me think of werewolves. Werewolves are technically just like you become a wolf. Wolfman is half man, half wolf. One of the things I like about this movie, as opposed to the ones that we have going now, is these are like ape mans. It's not just a chimp. It's not just a gorilla.
Right.
It's like this is what they've evolved into, and I really, I think it's really fun seeing it this way. I get why the current ones don't. It's supposed to be the beginning of it all, but I enjoy this a lot for what
Yeah,
it
I do
is.
too. I again, the movement coaching was brilliant on this
Outstanding.
because they move like apes, and everybody committed to the bit. Even
Ooh.
the extras committed to it,
Mhm.
and everybody, must have watched at least 2 or 3 National Geographics on apes because they were killing it. The
Can you
story's
imagine
not
being
solid,
that
but they were
extra?
killing it.
Can you
that'd be
imagine
so
being
fun.
that extra who's just learning all of the ape movements?
Actually, I
Getting
wanted
the
to pull
heat
this up.
stroke and the out there
Orangutans,
in
which
the-
are very, very economic.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you
no,
off.
no, no.
I didn't know the volume was going to be that loud.
I was just gonna say getting heat stroke in the desert. It's like, but I got to be in a Tim Burton movie.
Right, I'd be so
Right.
excited.
And yeah, like, and that's why I don't get.
Hold on, I
oh,
just
sorry,
want
no,
to
yeah.
go through the movements here. This is
This is
actually
so interesting.
how they were how they trained. I
How
think
they
this
were
guy is one
coached
of the
to do it.
trainers.
Yeah.
My homegirl trained with this
Coach.
guy.
They quadruped
Oh,
like
that's
this.
cool.
I
Who?
love that
Humble
he's
brag.
doing it with his
Molly
face
Daisy.
too. He's not just walking with the arms. He's making different facial features. I love it.
Right, yeah.
Looks like
And you have your gorillas that are much more, boom, they like punch the ground. They're very stabbing, and they stab the ground. They pull their legs along, and they're very.
there's like
There's
no
a
give on
bravado
those.
and a posturing
Yeah.
that happens.
Right.
And they've developed this a lot
Gorillas.
since like they made the new Monkey movie, because he does also
Right, yeah.
what you call it, consultation on the newer
On the current ones.
films. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
then the
they
chimps
use
are much
actors
more
for
wiry,
those,
they're
just
much
more-
CGI everything up on 'em. And
I always think
which
it's
I think
interesting.
they could do a practical suit
Oh,
and
yeah.
do the CGI for everything.
Yes,
I
yes.
think that should be.
I
the
mean, they've
way-
had them
Yeah.
walking around on riding around on horses, promoting the
love
newest
this guy.
movie,
This motherfucker is doing.
and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like
That
when
right
you see
there, when
stuff
they're like, you
this-
could be whatever you want to be when you grow up. That's the actual definition of you can be whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah, don't fucking tell me I can be a police officer.
All right.
Definitely not president.
Doctor,
of the United States.
lawyer,
You
nah.
cannot be president of the United States.
Yeah.
Most likely.
And I'll tell
if
you
you're
what,
listening
Yeah,
to this-
9-year-old me wants to be that guy.
He invented you can just tell he invented those ape crutches.
Yeah.
He didn't go out and buy those.
No,
Right.
he
It's-
chopped
No, you'd
them.
have
He
to.
chopped some actual crutches down and put
Right,
nubs
yeah.
on the end of them. Is what he did. Some
Yeah.
welding work on
It's-
his own.
It's funny because now that guy he teaches a class on how to do that motion work, and it's like very like nowadays it's very specifically custom made. It's so different than
Oh my god!
than
I
what
would
it
love
was
to
back
take
then.
that class. I would love to
Uh,
film us taking that class.
I
but yeah,
always think
like,
it's
TL's
interesting though, like when you see people do movement for like, gorillas and other apes or even just monkeys, that we're not that far removed from
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
That if our
1%.
arms were just a little bit longer, just like he was using those crutches
Mhm.
for, we could fall right back into that movement very easily. I always just think that's
One-
fascinating.
Our DNA is only 1% different.
Yeah.
I also
Especially if you
think
got that Cro-Magnon like me.
right that brown.
and to y'all's point, like I do feel like it's again, this is another like I said, this is sort of a cornerstone movie in filmmaking. I see a sliding door situation where if this movie was like a better well received and by critics, that this movie sort
Would've
of
been the blueprint.
influences
Yeah.
like influences makeup
Mhm.
the like full makeup movies,
Mhm.
and we decide to expand on that, because like if this is what we can do in 2001, imagine what we can do in
what we could have done
2024.
now
No,
Yeah.
Right.
if they weren't so lazy.
no.
And then you get Thor Ragnarok with the CGI
Hell
missing
Bill says no.
eye, and it's like
Hell
you
no.
could
I mean, I'm just not interrupting
It would
everyone.
look better.
I have.
I-
You said Bill says no, but I mean, I have more to say than no. I'm
Yeah, I assumed you had some more to say.
Oh.
I was just saying that that's
The,
It was
um,
setting you up. It was the alley oop.
I was trying to let you finish. That's why I was saying you don't have to say that. I'm trying to let you
Uh,
finish.
Back to ignore me.
But yeah, I just feel like y'all think that something would have affected the way that Hollywood spends money. The reason that these other movies are cheaper is because CGI is in fact cheaper. Is as much as it is, a lot of work. For some reason, it's a lot of man hours that have to go into it. I'm not a CGI artist, so I don't know the deets, but it's still way cheaper to do CGI than it is to do practical makeup. So that just tells you which one they gonna do. Like, you know what I mean?
Cheaper to do good CGI.
Yeah, it's cheaper to do
Okay.
good CGI. It's cheaper to do bad CGI. It's cheaper
I
all
assume.
the time. It's bad it's cheaper all the time because bad
Okay.
CGI doesn't come from the amount of money they spent.
Mm.
Bad CGI comes from the amount of time they allowed the artists to actually do their job.
generate the thing, yeah.
Like
And then
rendering and
Rick,
whatnot.
sorry,
Well, go ahead. See what you just said.
just that one of the reasons where Rick Baker kind of quit is because he wasn't given the time to do his work later on in the film. He's like,
Yeah.
they don't really give me the time to make to do the shit that I want. Once I make the movies, they kind of cover it all up with CGI. Like he just kind of got cold-hearted on the whole
which
process.
is
Jaded.
which is what I say. Which is why I think people need to do this more often. Do what
Right.
Game of Thrones did. Split the difference.
Yes.
You need to use the practical and the CGI. And we have the technology to do it, so why not just do it? Which still makes it cheaper.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But it also lets you do bigger scale.
Yeah.
Because all the things that KirstYn had a problem with the set design, now I can just, combine all those things and add
Several shots, stitch them
patchworks.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, patchworks of CGI that build this overall like beautiful, world. And then because like there's a lot of CGI where they just CGI'd San Francisco in the newer
right. Yeah.
But like I don't have a problem with you CGIing a background, if you will, because there's pieces of real San Francisco that they can use, right?
That they can stitch in and make it look better. Yeah.
Exactly. It's the same thing. We can make a suit that looks like fur, feels like fur, right? It is, and then patchwork some other things in there so that
Tim Burton's gonna try and fuck it.
You know what I mean? Like, that's actually why we can't.
100%.
It's actually
because of Tim Burton.
union rules that you can't have a
but do you guys find him as
on set because Tim Burton will come in and fuck
you. Do you guys find him as a filmmaker though, especially in his earlier films, his resistance to using CGI? Because CGI was starting to build up by 2001. Like we'd already had Jurassic
Sleepy
Park.
Hollow.
That was post this movie.
Looked like Sleepy Hollow, I would say.
Yeah, well, but Sleepy Hollow even had a lot of practical.
Exactly. But
yeah, and a lot of puppetry and things like that.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Relied on that more than CGI.
Ask your question again.
Do you feel like he is, as a filmmaker, kind of resistant to utilizing CGI? Because it could have beefed this movie up and helped it and smoothed over some of the areas where we've been, kind of picking apart. Just to add in a little bit. He didn't need a lot, just a little bit, because the practical effects are cool.
For the screams where the apes' mouths drop to scream and shit, that was CGI.
Well, yeah. But I mean, he could have used more of it. He's resistant to use it.
I don't think that he like, to your point, he doesn't. I don't think he's resistant to use it. I think he just feels like I don't think he knows how to use, or at least at this point, he didn't know how to use it.
Yeah,
because it's not him. It's going to be his team. And then so he has to be able to have a team that knows how to, implement that
and pick the right team to do so. Yeah,
exactly. And I just don't think he had that yet. Which he definitely goes on to do some movies.
Right. Maybe it's more that it wasn't a high interest point for him to incorporate it in because he came from such a practical background.
Right.
Yeah, the movies from his earlier filmography, like your Ed Woods and your Edward Scissorhands, like they're very, even Batman, like they're very grounded as far as their visuals go. And even like then we get to this time period where Beetlejuice is like super practical.
Even the sandworm, which I mean, if they had the technology back then, that would have been perfect for CGI. The sandworm in that movie is very obviously claymation.
Yeah, it's very much a puppet.
I think that I think it speaks more to the fact that like to KirstYn's point, I don't think he's resistant, he's just more practical. And he got it out of the mud. Like I don't think he just even thought about it like that. Like he's like, I used to make movies with fucking like
sticks
coat hangers and goddamn aluminum foil. Sticks.
Cocaine in a dream.
I'll tell you what, it'll be interesting to see the new Beetlejuice, and if that would be the perfect spot for him to blend practical and CGI really well.
Well, he's going to.
Excited
he's going to have to because
I'm glad Terry's not here because he'd just be talking about how it's a movie about a child molester.
But
he hates Beetlejuice.
No, I get it.
Beetlejuice a child molester?
Probably. I mean,
his obsession with
trying to find an argument.
He tries to marry. Let me tell you something. I definitely tried to argue with him. I did. And then I lost because he definitely tries to marry a 15-year-old.
Yeah, this is a
that's
lot
true.
like
I forgot he
our,
tried to marry her.
This is a lot like our age of
blocked
consent
that
in
out.
Japan situation, huh?
Dude, blocked it out. Blocked it out. I never even considered it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even think of the times you've watched Beetlejuice. You're probably like, well, that's wrong. But you skate over it because you're like, there's so much other shit going on.
We're more focused on the dead guy trying to marry the live girl than the 100-year-old guy.
I didn't even
marrying
notice.
the high schooler.
No, it has nothing. Yeah, no, bro. Them getting married, him being dead, not being dead, none of that even crossed my mind, really. It's just like the age gap, none of that crossed my mind. I'm just like, this is a crazy fucking movie.
Right.
Makes the cartoon even weirder.
Yeah, the cartoon made it weird.
The cartoon where they were just hanging out.
Yeah, they're just buddies.
But
I'm saying the cartoon's even weirder after the failed marriage.
But why was a fucking grown ass?
I feel like this is like an alternate universe where he didn't try to
where he didn't try and marry her.
I like the fake insane universe.
Yeah, Tim Burton.
We're talking about Tim Burton. Okay, well, at least we're still on track.
I do.
I'm just making sure.
Which brings us back to Planet of the Apes and how he was really trying to push for them to fuck those apes.
Yeah, he was really
we
trying
can
to
all leave here today.
I've got a haiku about
regardless of what's being said.
Absolutely
we can all leave here today saying explicitly that Tim Burton is a pervert. Does everybody feel comfortable?
He's in the same vein as Quentin Tarantino, but in a different way.
Yeah. David Fincher, my favorite director, is like admits that he's a pervert. So I'll throw them in the same. I'll throw them in the same category. Yeah. But let's talk about the ending for a little bit.
Stuff like that. See, motherfuckers out here.
Hey, know yourself. That's what they say.
He still gets jobs. He's openly creepy. Fucking
Woody Allen's still working. He's like,
do I
retire?
He married his daughter.
Like, retire now.
Stepdaughter, yeah.
He's musing about that now. He's like, do I retire? Yes.
No way he was diddling her when she was young. No way. He would never say such a thing on the Drunk Banthas channel.
Yeah.
But if you go to Nerds at Night, you can hear me talk all about it.
Yeah, right. We're gonna blow it up on Thursday.
We're not gonna talk about it too much on here, but I hope that Woody Allen runs into an AIDS tree. But we're talking about this movie.
You want me to write a haiku about it? Hang on.
Yeah, please write it. Please write a haiku about it. But
I'm gonna put the title of this episode haiku. I don't give a fuck what movie we're covering. It's gonna be called haiku.
But yeah, at the end of this movie, we do get like our big standoff between the apes and the humans. We get this big epic battle that we've seen in a bunch of different types of movies. Wasn't a huge fan of the action, but though Tim Burton isn't really great at action.
He's not an
movies.
action guy.
For guys made two Batman movies, the action is never really the focal point of those movies. But then we get the Return of Pericles. He amazingly lands his spaceship, which I think it's funny that Mark Wahlberg crashes his plane twice, and the fucking ape can land his ship perfectly.
Just fine.
Just fine. But this happens in the midst of this epic battle, and it's as if this has to be like the emotional significance is if
you think
if Jesus comes down in the middle of World War III and in a spaceship and it's just like, hey y'all, I'm back.
Right, but he's not the Jesus that they expect.
Right,
and that's what's worse. They're like, fuck this.
Let me just tell y'all something. If Jesus does come back down, he will not be the Jesus you expect.
No, he's gonna be
these are not the droids you're looking for.
I mean, also imagine like
brown as the day is long.
Pericles to what they're imagining Simu is like if Jesus comes back like 4 foot hunchback and just kind of like using he speaks 3 words a minute. I mean, like
Jesus comes back, he looks like Vern Troyer. He looks just like Vern Troyer.
But they're all still sitting there like, it's our savior. If that one pops out, I'm like, that's
not the guy. I was expecting, like if you see Jesus come back, you're expecting to be Chad Kroger or like look.
I mean, if that guy pops out, I'm like, man, maybe Islam. I don't know.
Did they specify?
thought this is when he came back.
Were there images of
That's when Shang
like
Tsung dies.
were there images of Simu?
He just tossed those people like
I mean,
tiny
there's
chips.
Like paper.
like the
Right? Bye.
That is one of the things. Oh, I do want to bring
Damn.
that up because one of the tropes about this movies like this and TV shows like this, where somebody hits someone and they fly across the room. I've
Right.
always had kind of a problem with that. Like, in movies, if we're talking about like stuff like Angel, where someone's a vampire,
Right.
and they get knocked across the room, it's believable they'll be able to survive that. But if you hit somebody in one central area, and the
right.
concussive force is enough to make them fly 10 feet, that
They're
person is
dead.
dead.
They're dead.
So,
Their
They were
spine is
dead the
disconnected.
moment you
Unless
connected to them.
you're
They were dead
Goku.
before they hit the floor.
Unless you're
I-
Goku.
I promise what I'm about to say will
None of these
Unless you're
humans are in
Goku,
good
but
enough
nobody
shape
in
to
this
survive
movie
that.
is Goku.
Yeah.
I promise what I'm about to say will connect. There's a comic storyline where Doc Ock takes over Peter Parker's body.
Yeah, I remember that.
And in
That
his
seems
first
unnecessary.
fight against the Scorpion, he punches him so hard he tears off his lower jaw. Because again, when you're that strong and you're just punching someone right there, it's gonna hurt more than you think.
Well, and these are
Yeah.
some malnourished slave humans. So as soon as that chimp even just flipped you, you would die.
Right?
And he threw these people and then beat that. I assume that was a lady with that helmet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Either
yeah,
that or
yeah.
that man had on a midriff. I don't know which rocket.
Oh, could have
Hey,
been both.
Hey,
I definitely
I
rock,
think
I
so.
definitely rock the mid.
Don't you judge
the
Simu
midriff is
fashion?
hot.
It's
What is
it's Simu chic.
Simu
was-
Chic.
They were working it up until they got
See,
their
she-
face bashed in with a pointy helmet.
Well,
I
I mean,
mean-
look, that dude. What was his name in the
Pericles.
I forgot his name.
No, the villain monkey.
Oh,
Caesar?
they.
Thade.
Thade.
Thade already had shown that he
Thade
was
was
about
nuts.
that. Like he killed them 2 big apes.
Thade was about that Thade.
With like dope blade weapons, by the way.
Yes.
Thade
Yeah,
was
crazy
100%
guns.
about that Fade. He was like, I'm gonna
He
kill
had-
everybody.
he
But
had
doesn't use
blades.
that at all in the giant fight scene.
No.
He had blades that
Why-
were
why
like
do
the kind of blades that you get at the trucker stop in like
Oh, right. Yeah, it's like,
in
oh, shit.
Texas or some shit like
Yep.
How
Yeah.
much of those up there?
Yeah, they get
Yeah.
a glass case and shit.
And they're like, it's free if you buy 20 gallons.
$150 in
Yeah.
a Bud Light case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit, I don't know.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, at
It's
the
like
Circle
Knott's Berry
J.
Farms when you go in the sword shop. You guys ever been in there?
I've
Yeah.
never been to Knott's Berry
Oh
Farm.
my
K.
god. Knott's Berry Farms has an entire sword shop where you can get replicas
That's
of like
rad. I'm
famous
going
movie
tomorrow.
swords. They have the gladiator sword, they have ring wraith swords. It's crazy. And
That's so
and they're
cool.
expensive too because they're like actual like metal replicas and
Right.
they're
Yeah.
heavy and they do not let you buy one if you're under 18. I tried when I went on a field trip when I was in high school. They said no.
I love the scene
Those
in Paul
bastards.
where he tries to use the sword he bought at the Comic-Con and it immediately snaps in half.
Yeah, no, these ones would kill somebody.
Oh man.
But sorry.
I was gonna.
And it's totally out of place in the middle of Knott's Berry Farm. Like, why?
I just remember what happens after that scene. Like after Smino shows up, then we get
Smino.
Smino. There's a
Grecian?
no. There's a rapper named Smino.
Smino Grisha.
What is this? Where is no? But
Yeah, that's the
is this where I'm looking for, Alex?
This is when they find out that Kalima means caution live animals, and they find out the origin of their entire civilization.
Right,
Is a
which shows
lie.
that those apes weren't as smart as they thought that they were, because they ain't know nothing about acronyms.
Yeah, or dust. Just wipe off the goddamn wall.
100%, man. Like, what in the absolute fuck?
Yeah.
Kalima.
Hey, they didn't wipe the dust off this wall. Oh my god. Say hi to your mother for me. I do not. I hate I don't like Andy Samberg, but the best thing he's done in his entire career is
It's
that Mark
his-
Wahlberg
yeah.
impression.
Full stop.
You don't
It's
like Andy
so good.
Samberg?
Yeah,
just-
no.
He just doesn't
I'd say
do
the best
much
thing
for
that he
me,
did
yeah.
was Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it wasn't anything from his character. It was that it set it up for all those fantastic side characters.
His character made me stop watching.
I would
He was
definitely...
pretty creepy as the puppet fucker in that Anna Faris movie with Chris. Which Chris Evans. It was
Oh, I
like,
did
what's
not
your
see this
number?
movie.
Oh, it's a terrible little
Huh.
rom
I
com.
would trade...
Is that the one where he
all-
sees himself as all of the rom-commers?
No. Yeah, this
Uh.
one's where she's concerned that she's fucked too many people and has exceeded the allotted number before people think you're a whore and won't like marry you, which is the dumbest plot I've ever seen in a movie. But
I would
don't know.
trade
the
every
Madonna whore
sing-
complex is
No.
real.
I would trade every single fucking success story for his ass to never have existed. Sandberg, I'll trade all of it.
damn,
Every single one of it.
But then
All
you
of
don't get dick in a box.
it. Sure, great.
He's not that
I'm with it.
Yeah.
You've convinced me.
Maybe
Don't twist my arm.
Maybe that's the best thing
right?
he's done.
Don't make
Mark
me
Wahlberg
excited.
version.
It's like,
His cameo in The Watch was pretty great.
I forgot. I haven't seen The Watch in so long.
Such
That's the
a
Richard
good one.
Ayoade
oh
movie.
man,
Yep,
I
yep.
forgot there was a whole ass black person that was just on like hanging with the humans.
Yeah,
he's
he's one
just
dude.
he's like wallpaper. He's just there in the background.
he also-
so still.
I'm glad you mentioned that because he is early 2000s, one black guy in the movie, but this is a time period where a black man had plot armor because everybody was all, it was a huge joke by this point.
Right, yeah. And they were
Black
like,
guy
"You
dies
can't
at the
kill him."
beginning
Black
of
guy
the
dies
movie.
first, yeah.
Black guy dies first. So
Who
Can't kill him.
everybody was trying not to kill the black guy first.
Yeah.
Who's
So he
But
died.
if he's dressed as a gorilla,
right?
He died.
Did he
Who's
not?
the
Yeah. You guys
who's
know- you guys
the
backsnap.
instructor from Never Back Down? You guys
John
know who I'm
Hansu.
talking- Yeah, he was actually almost in this movie. I don't remember which
shit.
role, but he
Oh.
almost, he was one of the people.
Cool.
And then he
Also,
read the
Gary
script.
Oldman almost played Thade.
Actually, let's
That's
just
funny.
I could
since
see
he ended
that.
up
we're
in
gonna
whatever.
give
Yeah.
you this moment right now. I'm gonna get you to get all these trivias out before we get up out of here. I wanted you to get these trivias out, and we got
Right,
another
lay
clip
it
that I
on
want to
us.
show. So take your time. Go on. Start what you like to. They don't have to be in the form of a haiku.
please don't. Yeah.
Well,
Preferably not.
I did write a haiku about Knott's Berry Farm swords.
Of course you did.
I don't have many. I don't think I have any other pieces of trivia from
No
it.
beats that you missed. Nothing that you hadn't said yet. Nothing.
You
Like I
almost said
said-
no more beats that you meet.
No, I said.
You
I
didn't
almost said
beat your
meast.
meat.
I almost
Don't
said
beat the meat.
meast because I was gonna say
one
missed.
syllable too long.
Mises or mices?
No, that's basically it. The studios quickly shut down the ape boning. Other
As well they
people,
should.
other people tried to be applied, or other people were considered for many roles. Marky Mark took this after a 5-minute meeting with Tim Burton without reading shit. The ending is okay, so that's the last one. The ending with everything that we're about to talk about, that is straight from the book. So that one, it would, and the books also have sequels. So had this movie gotten a sequel, it would have made a lot more sense, and they would have explained a lot.
So you're saying that this is more closer to the book, this
Mhm.
movie, than any of the other movies. This is
At least
one.
the ending is, from what I've read online.
Okay, well, that brings us to this point. I want to pull up the ending and then get you to elaborate on that, and then I'll get everybody else's little thoughts and feelings. I don't care about your feelings.
Your thoughts, not my thoughts.
Your thoughts. We don't have to drop on here. Can't
Now
do
let
that.
me just left
Their
there,
spaceship
like
looks like the probe that they slip into ugly fucker or whatever his name is, or fat bastard. And
yeah, yeah, it
That's
does
funny.
kind of.
in Austin
Yo,
Powers.
yeah. Why did
He
have?
had a
So he
huge
had
trap.
to leave the monkey.
Ugly fucker.
Right.
He had to
Why did he
leave
even-
Pericles.
Yo, so again, sorry, let me just say that's another
Also, did
thing
Pericles-
about
That's
this
the thing.
character. That's another thing about this character that is just like badly written. Like, his motivation to come to this planet is to save his boy Pericles, and as soon as they get reunited, he just kind of fucking leaves without.
I set you up.
Right.
Set you up for that one. There's only one fucking seat. He can't take Pericles.
Look at
He
the
could sit on
space
his
in there.
lap.
He's a monkey.
No,
He's a tiny chimp.
no,
He
y'all.
could have
That's
sat on
not
his
how-
lap.
okay,
He could have
beyond
That's
sat
not
on the
how
floor.
aeronautics works. You know, it's based on it's based on weight and all that shit.
Oh my
Beyond
God.
that,
So
but-
then, so he made the decision. He was like, hey, I came
Wait,
to
ooh.
rescue you,
Well,
but unfortunately I
sorry.
crashed the ship.
Yeah, but he had his other ship when he came. He crashed his, so now he's taking his.
Beyond that, I just want to say, like, just about his character. The apes, Helena Bonham Carter's character is like, and even the blonde lady who I can't remember her
Not Nova.
actress's name, not Nova. Thank you. They're both like, if you stay here, you can do so much. You can save, like, you can do so much for these people. Like they believe in you, like they see
Lead
hope in
us.
what you can do for this civilization. He's like, no, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Thanks,
You know
though.
why? Hold
Yeah.
on. Let me ask you a question.
Mm.
Let's just set this scenario. I'm gonna make it real simple. Let's just say you end up in New Guinea. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like somewhere in the fucking desert in Africa.
Mm.
Okay. And then let's just say you meet some people, they help you out, you help them out, y'all share an experience together. And then you find out that there's a military helicopter that's right there and you can go home. Or you can stay here and help these people build their whole civilization and hang out with them. Which one are you going to choose?
I'm
Are
going
you going
home.
to choose cable and shower? Or are you going to choose to hang out with monkeys and fucking ape people?
That is,
I think
going
I'm
home.
going
I'm
to
going
the
home.
fucking crib.
Because
dog.
I
that
will
is
never
fair.
That is
trust
not
them
making-
again not to try and whoop my ass. So
Exactly. I'm
That
not. That's never why. That does not make him everything you've said that makes him a bad person. I feel like you just missed the mark
Well,
on those bad
you
people.
would
hits.
that is
'Cause
fair.
I'm just going to the fucking crib.
That is
dog.
that is fair
I
for
need
most.
a Big Mac.
That is fair for most people, but like, just to make a comparison with, like, say the newer Planet of the Apes movies, or even like John Carter from Mars. Like with Caesar, he's given the opportunity to go back home with James Franco, with the home that he loves and he appreciates, but he has a responsibility to help these apes that he's met. He's like, obviously everything is shit in this experience.
Well,
like
I don't
everything
think
is terrible
that's-
about his life, but he's like, you know what?
That's not really a 1-to-1. Would you want to go back and live with James Franco?
no. Knowing what we know now, no.
And
Fair
also,
point.
he really
Fair point.
couldn't go back. I mean, he couldn't go back. That's different.
Well, he bought his way to come
I'm
back
talking
home.
about Caesar couldn't go back home. Caesar
Yeah,
couldn't
that
go
is.
back home.
Yeah, no. They weren't going to let Caesar.
That just
They were going
couldn't
to be
happen.
like, oh, yeah,
So-
come on back over. We're not
Well,
going to experiment on
I'm
you.
just
If-
saying,
I mean,
talking
if-
monkey man can't come back to talking monkey man house like that. I'm just saying that just. I
mean,
understand what you're saying, but you
Yeah.
didn't even answer my question, which is the whole one that rings the entire bell. You are in a civilization where you have no water, no heat,
He
no
has water.
AC. Well, okay, you got water. I'm talking about
You got
running
basics.
water.
There
I'm talking
you
about
go.
running water.
Right. No, I said, like, that's a
You
fair,
don't wanna
that's a
go
fair.
home.
No, no.
You said that's a fair comparison, but you didn't answer the question. That's what I'm saying. Kirsten answered the question. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking you the question.
Again, like I said, it's a fair comparison because, like, I feel like that is a decision that a lot of people would make.
Alex, I didn't
Yes or
ask you
no,
what other
Alex?
people exactly. God damn,
Yes or
nigga,
no? Would
answer
you
the
stay?
fucking question.
Are you going to stay and be their messiah? Or are you going to go home?
Paper or
So you can have
plastic?
I mean, I
Access to Pornhub again.
If you're asking me, I would have stayed because I feel like I would want.
If I'm asking you,
You would stay? That's no. I don't. I gotta get into the psychology behind it. Why would you stay? Are you just
Monkey
feel bad
fucking.
for
What
him?
are you
Because
getting?
people need help. Like I,
Oh,
and
that's
they need help with
nice.
nigga. Give them some. I just gave you some help. The monkeys don't fuck with y'all no more because I fucking told y'all ain't shit.
Well,
All right, now I'm
Kinda
going back to
nice,
the house.
though. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm a piece of shit.
I just
Dead
don't,
body
I just
shooting.
don't understand what. No,
think-
you're
I
the
think
only
that's
reason that you
commendable.
qualify.
I can't do that.
No, the only reason you qualify as a piece of shit, Alex, is it took you 45 minutes to answer this one goddamn question, and then had the nerve to say, "If you're asking me."
I was trying to answer the question. I wouldn't give you more than 5 seconds to say anything.
Kirsten, did he try to answer the question, or did he vehemently avoid answering?
I feel like he was setting himself up to answer the question, and then he kept restarting because you kept restarting, and we've all kept restarting because
well,
this
guess
movie
what?
is trash.
Guess
Does
what?
it hold up, gentlemen? Let's get to the end.
Guess what? Guess what? I know what's gonna prove me right. The fucking tape, because I haven't really been drinking over here. I seen it.
All right. Well, I want to talk about when he lands in modern ape society and sees the monkey ham Lincoln statue.
Yeah, monkey ham Lincoln.
This is
the chimpan
most
Lincoln
ridiculous part of the
statue.
movie,
I
in my
can't.
opinion.
I'm tired. I can't come up with nothing else.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln is great. Yes. Ambiguous button pressing, and he wonders why he doesn't make it home.
Wait, I want to get. Yeah, there you go. What in the absolute fuck? You get it? Absolute. Absolute fuck is going on here.
This part makes a little of no sense to me.
Well, that's why we're about to have Jeff explain it to us.
All right.
Yeah. It's in the book.
So
he's not wearing any shoes.
Oh,
though,
look at that. It says, hold on, before you go, it says, trying to read this thing.
We are technically apes and we wear shoes.
As in the hearts of the apes for whom he saved the planet, the memory of General Thade is ensured forever.
Enshrined
Forever. Sorry, it's very tiny.
No, he doesn't have insurance. It's okay.
He's not insured. But
Nationwide is on your side.
I don't. That's like a big retcon for what happened when he left, right?
Right. Yeah. No, they rewrote history.
There's no evidence that he had a way to travel back.
But so no, that's I didn't want you to even. Yeah, that's why I was trying to tell you to hold on because I'm gonna let Jeff. No, it's because Jeff actually has the answer, so we don't have to think.
First off,
thank God.
Do you guys want a haiku about Alex's answer?
No.
Okay. All right.
I would rather live on a planet of apes than have another haiku drench my eardrum.
Want me to make a haiku about that?
Kirsten hates haikus.
We kind of covered. That's the start of a haiku. So
I hate them now.
We kind of touched on it earlier. Remember, traveling through, we've seen from the three people that traveled through this, we'll call it a wormhole. I don't know what else to call that thing that was in space, that it's an inverse relationship for when they go through. So the earlier you go in, the later you come out. So Marky Mark goes through and comes back, we'll say 2001. Thade clearly went back years after Marky Mark. So he ended up way further in the past.
Right. Which I can
when did
I can
Thade
totally
get on a ship?
He would have used the ship that Marky Mark left in the ocean, and see that's why they
not even
to
the
chase
ocean.
after him.
It was
it
wasn't even.
It was like a lake.
Why
or
wouldn't he?
A swamp or whatever.
This is what Thade was doing.
It makes sense. See, I follow it because I was very curious as to what was going on with the ship, because they just leave his ship in the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
and we saw just touching random buttons gets you home.
Exactly.
Home-ish.
Home-ish. And Thade was very he was trying to. He was. You could tell he was very interested and confused about the technology that the humans had, and he was like trying to keep it away. Like he was trying to keep it from everybody, not to keep it from everybody so they'd stay ignorant. But he wanted to find the shit before anybody else did.
Right,
Like,
because didn't they lock him in the ship? He gets locked into
he
it.
does get locked in.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he probably learned some things while he was in there, you know what I'm saying? Read some shit because everything was still active on board. Computers are still active and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So
Right. Yeah,
that
if he
doesn't
didn't
make a
shoot it
little
to
bit
hell and
more
gone, he
sense.
probably
Yeah.
made it. Yeah.
And he probably wanted to get revenge, right? Like he's that kind of motherfucker. We seen that. Like he's that nigga. He probably got somebody to let him out, go get that thing, put it together, boom, boom, get it back in there, go back after Whitey and try to kill him. But he got there first, and then not realizing that Mark Wahlberg's coming later.
Right.
Mhm.
And they did
Also-
do some like set. Sorry, I'm gonna let you go
No, you go ahead.
in a second, Jeff. But they did some set dressing earlier where they Thade and his compatriots find Mark Wahlberg's original crashed spaceship.
Mhm.
So I would assume that
Before he becomes Blade.
because um but I would assume because they didn't do anything really with that in this movie that was sort of a setup for a potential sequel where like he would repair the ship and then travel off. What I'm having a
Right.
little bit of trouble with grasping, and I'm curious how you guys feel about this, and maybe they would have explained this in the non-existent sequel, but if Thade goes back to like in Civil War America, how does he exactly like take over? Because one of the things I like about the newer Planet of the Apes movies is they explain how apes are the dominant member of society. But if you just plant this very intelligent ape from another world in this
Right.
universe, how does he interact with that? How does he take
Two
over?
words.
My thing is you're assuming it's Earth.
Two words.
I don't think it's Earth. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Monkey fucking.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he goes back to Earth. I think that's an assumption that he goes back to Earth. I think he just goes back to the same planet.
Well, they do make a
the assumption is the planet that Mark Wahlberg crash lands on, the Planet of the Apes, is not Earth because
That's
it
what
has
I'm
two
saying.
moons.
Right.
Yeah.
but at the
So
end
Like
they
Star
do
Thade
make a
goes
point.
from 2 moons to Earth.
In the end, they do make a point to show his trajectory like through space. They show him go past Saturn toward Earth.
Yeah,
so
he
they
goes
make
past a planet with rings. When the planet he's going to has 2 moons. So
Yeah.
that's not Earth. He's going
Right.
back
So
to
the
the
new
same planet
the modern
that he
planet
was
still
at.
has 2 moons.
Yeah, I
But he's
think
just the same planet 1,000 years in the
in
future.
the future. So you
Okay.
think it looks like Earth, but it's a terraformed
So-
planet. It's thousands of years in the future. So ice caps have melted just like Earth. Ice caps have melted. The deserts are no longer deserts. They're fruitful plains. Everything would have changed. Nothing would have looked the same on the planet. And
Right.
so
Yeah,
Earth
how do
don't
we
got
know
2
these
moons.
apes didn't do the same mistakes we did where they have global warming now too? They don't fuck
Exactly.
their
that
planet
is
up.
okay. So that's another question that I have. Even though like I do love these sci-fi movies like the Krypton.
I always
They
have the answers to the sci-fi movie questions.
they Krypton. I'm like Krypton and stuff, other stories like that's where they have stories that parallel the human condition. I'm very curious how the apes would have like came up with the exact same society. Like we still have the
Right,
Washington
yeah.
Memorial. The police uniforms are still the same.
But that's the thing. But Thade does go back to Earth because he's just going on the return trajectory from the ship. He's not typing in new coordinates.
Yeah, but okay, but so you're saying he went to Earth, but then did he just drop off this Earth knowledge? Did he circle back? Like, or did he send a telegram? Like, what the hell? How did they get this exact society?
Yeah,
Or is it that
whether it's a different
I
just-
meant
planet.
it when
yeah.
I said monkey fucking. I literally meant like, well, he mates with monkeys. He makes other hyper intelligent monkeys. They make more. They make more. They make more.
I gotta
And
read
then-
this book. This is a
Oh,
crazy book.
I don't know. I don't know if that's out of the book. This is an
Oh.
assumption. So it's just,
Oh, okay.
all I'm saying is the end of the book is Charlton Heston goes back to Ape Earth.
Right.
Yes.
And excuse me. And I think that one of the most interesting things about the original movie is because it has such a fantastical and
Twist.
intriguing. Well, yeah, like the ending is like what everybody.
It's the biggest twist.
It's the biggest
in
twist in
history.
probably
it's the
in
first
cinematic
twist
history.
ending I can think of watching in my life.
Yeah.
It's I don't think it's the it's
It's
literally
not the first
the
one ever,
largest.
but
No.
It's
yeah,
literally
first
the
one you're
biggest
supposed to-
twist in the history of cinema.
Yeah, this is probably like number one. This number two. Luke, I am your father. Like it's a
Right.
really
yeah.
great
Number
twist in the
3,
movie.
Spaceballs, where Lord Helmet gets stuck on the
Yeah,
planet of the
exactly.
Apes.
I'll tell you what. M.
We're
Night
all waiting on
Shyamalan
pins
Ding
and needles for
Dong
that one.
definitely saw this movie.
Oh yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sure
and
it
like
was
I
an
think
influence of his,
that was
yeah.
definitely the driving point for this movie is like, oh, what are they gonna do for the ending? Like, are they gonna follow the same notes as the first movie? Are they gonna do something crazier? And they did do something crazier. And I remember seeing it and being like,
Still a fit.
I
oh,
do like
does
that
this
they
mean,
didn't do
though?
that in the
Yeah.
newer ones though. They didn't go for the let's have a crazy twist at the
Well,
end.
so but that's the thing.
Yeah.
The newer ones are like, I don't know, like 4 days after Charlton Heston's like, hey, let's go on a space trip.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Okay. So
yeah,
in
if you
this
want to do
one,
the timely womanly
are there
wobble.
humans in this like 1,000 years later instance, or the humans have died out?
I'm sorry. Are you?
I'm curious,
You're asking
yeah.
at the end
Right.
of this
Yeah,
movie.
at the end of this movie, are there humans
again,
other than Mark Wahlberg?
I don't know, but
We
I
don't
would
know. There's
assume-
no that's true. Okay.
I would
I'm just
assume-
speculating. that
I would
there-
assume they're in zoos
Well, if you guys
It's
know,
fair.
because
read the book, man.
there's that point where Mark Wahlberg, where they ask Mark like, "Hey, are there monkeys?" And he's like, "Sorry, apes." And he's like, "Yeah, they're in zoos." And they're like, "What are zoos?" So I'll bet you that's what would happen.
Oh, like they
Yeah.
were
If
like,
you
you know, we're
guys-
gonna take that idea because that was mean, and we're gonna put them in zoos next.
if you guys
Starting
out
with
there
that little
have
girl.
have read the book, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
How wrong are we? How stupid do we sound? Let me
tell you
know
what,
in the comments.
Please
Interested in
warn
reading
us,
that
are
book
there
now.
ape sex scenes? Because I just don't need that.
Right.
And
Also,
if you
let me
ask-
know if you think Tim Burton is a pervert.
Yes.
and if you-
I got that haiku if you want that.
Oh, why not? Go
yeah,
ahead.
let's do it. Tim Burton perfect haiku.
All right, hang on a second here. Burton loves ape butt. He wants to get in those suits and score some ape sex.
What's that? 8 butt. Is that 2 T's or 1?
Yes. It's 2. Come on. It's clearly 2.
This is a perfect answer. And
Beautiful work.
yeah, it's a beautiful haiku. And
Sweet
apparently,
ass.
if you ask Tim Burton about the ending, he's kind of flippant about it. He's like, I mean, the studio wanted
The verge
some
of
room for
redemption.
a sequel, so I did this. But I do feel like that this does leave room for a sequel if you wanted to expound on this, make something interesting. But the studio kind of saw the writing on the wall, and they were like, critics don't like this, audiences don't like this. Made a bunch of money.
Actually,
They
Let's
saw
just kind of get
they
out
saw
of
the
here.
writing where the apes didn't, because clearly they wiped the dust off the
Right.
goddamn DVD cover.
Kalima.
I don't know, man. You said all those things of reasons why they didn't do the sequel for this, and that has never stopped Hollywood from making a sequel.
That's true. So it was
So,
interesting with
for
this
sure.
one that they were like,
I-
absolutely not.
I think that it was, studio director conflicts. Like, most people don't like working with Tim Burton. Most studios don't like working with Tim Burton. They always have a problem. He goes over budget. It's like, that's why he does his own shit now.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't think this movie was ever going to get a second one, because I don't think Tim Burton wanted to do a second with
Yeah,
Oh,
but they
no.
could have had
No, and I
any
don't think they
directors
want-
step in. They could have had James Cameron come back and be like, yo, this made cool amounts of money. Do you want in on this?
right, but I think they would have
Which
probably had to change, because then in
It
certain
made over
situ-
3 times its
Yeah.
budget.
right, and in
rocked
certain
those.
circumstances, because of his involvement in the writing and everything, Tim Burton might have gotten like a credit going forward. So
Yeah.
I
So
don't
he'd
want it.
always been connected. in
One of
some
those
way.
like, yeah, you can do a
Exactly.
sequel, but you got and that also makes sense for Rise of the Planet of the Apes being so long after.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah,
I
they
just
even needed him to forget about it. So even Tim Burton was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
Wait, what are you doing right now, Dumbo? Okay, we'll make
Right.
we'll
Oh
make
my
another
God.
Planet of
The
the Apes movie.
addressing of those crows is forever going to go down in history as spectacular.
I still have not watched Tim
Wow.
Burton's
hadn't
Dumbo.
watched it.
Wow. Just
But
be
that's-
prepared.
I
But
mean,
that
I'll just
speaks
go
to the-
Google that up. I'll just Google that one scene up real
Not
quick.
one black person was working that day. 'Cause holy
It's funny,
shit.
like, how do you make it
That's-
worse than the first one? God
Mr.
damn.
Oh, it's possible.
That's
Mr.
one of the
Popo
things-
made a reappearance.
a Mr. Popo cameo in Dumbo. That's one of the more fascinating things about this movie because, like, Tim Burton, he does, like we talked about how practical and tactile he was in the first half of his filmography, and then he gets, very embraced. He embraces the CGI with the big fish and the Hotel Transylvania
Dude,
and
big fish.
the Alice in Wonderland of it all later on in his
Right. Oh
career.
my god.
But guys, we could probably talk about this movie
CG
for
farting all over the place in Alice in Wonderland.
that is the only Tim Burton movie that I fucking hate.
Absolutely can't.
I didn't even watch
Oh.
it. It just
saw it
didn't
in
look like it was
theaters.
worth it.
Tim Burton makes a good movie around, like, his ratio is the same as M. Night Shyamalan's.
I
It's
hate
probably
his Willy
similar.
Wonka too, though. That
Me
no.
too.
Yes, Willy
Oh,
Wonka is bad.
God, yeah.
I
Like,
hate
It's
Alice
so
in
bad. It's
Wonderland.
so
I don't know why
stupid.
I like Sleepy Hollow.
He
to be honest with
recycled
you.
that Helena Bonham ape wig for Johnny
Oh, yeah.
Depp's Willy Wonka. He
Absolutely.
had the same
I
hair.
honestly, I feel like this is a turning point for his films where it's like maybe he's not that good of a filmmaker anymore. Like
Right,
after
yeah.
this,
Maybe he
it's-
should stop doing drugs.
I
Well-
don't think he started doing drugs in 2001. But maybe
I'll agree with you
too
that he
old for
didn't
drugs.
I
in
think he
2000.
stopped
Start.
doing drugs, and that's part of the problem. It's like Chevy Chase was no longer funny when he stopped doing huge amounts of blow.
I don't think Chevy Chase is very funny, to be honest with you. But
I've never
Caddyshack.
been I'm a bigger fan of Chevy Chase later in his career. Like I like Chevy Chase on Community
When he was a
more
dick
than
to
I like
everybody?
Chevy Chase on season 1 of Saturday Night Live. Hot take.
Yeah.
I
But
like
guys,
the
we
movies.
we could
Chris-
not have this
vacation
conversation
movies.
because
So-
I am just going to talk for 45 minutes about
That's true.
how
All
fucking
right. Well, how
wrong
about this?
all of y'all are about Chevy Chase. He's never been funny. Fuck him. There was no period where he was funny. Fuck
Yeah,
Chevy Chase.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
one more thing
Yeah.
about this movie.
Right.
I just looked it up. In the novel, the three astronauts go to a planet orbiting the star Betelgeuse. And
what?
Mhm.
No, you're
Is this-
absolutely
I'm
is a
not.
joking.
joke.
I'm not making that up at all.
How is this possible?
And it's a French novel.
I would love it
Me-
if that's how Tim Burton got
Right.
hired for this film.
Right? And by the way, that wasn't in any of the trivia. I just looked up the book on Wikipedia.
Well, that's why you come right here, y'all. That's why you come to the Drunk Banthas channel, because you get that kind of motherfucking information right there.
Who pitched this film? I don't know if we went over that. Who pitched this? Did Tim Burton pitch this to the studios,
No.
or the studios were like,
This
I
was-
think Tim Burton's the guy?
This was a studio project for several
Okay.
years. Like it started at like in the
Yeah.
early 80s where
Yeah.
Adam Rifkin, who directed Detroit Rock City, he kind
Great
of
movie.
started
All the-
he got the ball rolling because he made I think it was Every Next Tuesday was
Yeah.
his second film, and they were like, hey, what movie do you want to make? And he was like, you guys are sitting on the Planet of the Apes franchise. I really want to make this film. They kind of gave him the keys to it, and that kind of didn't go anywhere.
Fizzled
and it
out,
just,
yeah. And then
it
Tim
just kind of
Burton-
bounced from director to director.
Tim
for
Burton
years
floated
and
in
years.
like the ghost that he is.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything.
You know,
why,
that's how we know
like,
we've been
why
talking
he
this
ended up.
long, because we've been
Right.
talking too long, because you just said the same shit you said an hour and a half.
Right. I didn't remember. I'm sorry. My brain collectively just full of ape shit at this point, and I just can't.
affects the memory. But yeah, we could probably talk about this movie for like 4 more hours.
Oh yeah, we
but
could pick it apart.
I guess it's probably time to ask that titular question. Or
Well, first of all, you be trying to skip over shit. I want to ask,
does
Does it hold?
right into the microphone.
No.
I'm just telling you because it's cuts. I'm just gonna cut it out.
I feel you. I feel you. We at the end of every episode we vote on whether this film stands the test of time, and we cannot do it alone. So we're gonna ask our special guest first. KirstYn, it's always ladies first. How do you feel about this film?
I still give it about a 5 out of 10. It's just you know what? It was entertaining as hell to go back and rewatch it for this purpose. Is it a good movie? No. But there's some shit going on the screen, and that's good enough for what they produced.
So you would give it it does hold up over a dozen.
Oh no, it doesn't hold up at all, but it is entertaining. You'll have a good time. But
Okay.
it definitely does not stand the test of time.
Okay. That's interesting. Like that's an interesting take. I thought you were going one way. Did a little pivot.
Yeah.
You did a little Kansas City
Nope,
shuffle.
yeah. I had to think about it again, and absolutely not. Does not hold up.
So I guess it's time to ask our next guest, Jefe, which is Jeff in Spanish.
What?
Boss.
No, it's not.
I
It's
know.
Bob in Spanish.
It is. The question is, does
Does
it
it
hold
air? Well,
Jefe.
thank you for asking.
No.
Does this film hold up? It is a fun fever dream, but no, it doesn't.
I love that you did
nice
it
and
in
short.
haiku form.
But a more flushed out answer. It's an interesting one because it doesn't hold up when compared to the new / current ones, but it does hold up when compared to the Heston ones, if for no other reason than the makeup.
Yeah, makeup always wins.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the makeup pushes it over the top, as far as a film worth rewatching.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
If you're comparing
y'all
it
get me confused with
to
these. It doesn't hold up. Doesn't hold up.
No.
this does not hold up compared to what we've got now, but it does hold up if you only had the 1968 movie.
So
Okay.
no. The answer is
So
no.
no. Did you not hear the haiku? I'll read it again.
No, God, no, please. I'm up. I'm all full on haikus. Thank you.
I just wrote a haiku off the top of my dome. Listen, it was great. Does
it hold
I guess I'll go next and you don't want to go.
ahead.
Okay, I'll go next. I will say that this film
Oh man, I forgot my goddamn drink.
I was so busy drinking alcohol, forgot about my alcohol.
No, I haven't been drinking. That's the thing. I've drank 3 shots this entire 2.5
Biddle,
hours.
I saw that
Jesus,
can
Oprah, you
2
pull it out from
hours
under your
and
seat.
15 minutes ago.
Exactly. Right? It's crazy.
Oh,
This is
that's
the wildest shit ever. That is wild.
That's pretty great.
That didn't hold up either.
No.
Man. Oh no.
I'll-
It absolutely did.
It is holding up now, holding up to his face.
Still cold.
I will say that this film does not hold up, but only because there's the potentiality of it being so much better. Like
Yeah.
the Rick Baker of it all, the Tim Burton of it all, would have made this film like it adds a lot to the film. But I feel like there's a lot missing. Especially in casting. Like I can't imagine what this film would have been like if someone other than Mark Wahlberg. Again, I don't hate Mark Wahlberg in this movie, but he doesn't seem like a very Tim Burton-y avatar. Like your Johnny Depp's, your
Yeah.
You want Johnny Depp
Jenna Ortega. Not Johnny Depp.
So you want a
specifically.
Johnny Depp like character playing
he
this
would've-
character?
Not Johnny Depp specifically.
No, I
but
said a
Johnny Depp would've
like.
played
Oh,
an
he'd have
ape.
made this weird, and I think that would have been good.
Johnny Depp would have played an ape
Yeah,
amazingly.
y'all are wild.
Not-
any Johnny Depp or Johnny Depp-esque or any character that would be an extension of
I'm
character extension
broke
of
Bill.
Tim Burton.
I'm definitely gonna let you,
that's
like
gonna
express
be
yourself
an
during the
astronaut.
finale, but
That's
like,
fucking wild.
like I feel like actor and director relationships is very important, and I feel like Mark Wahlberg and Tim Burton, like I just don't see them having like a very cohesive working relationship where they were able to get good performances out of each other. Like
They
I
don't have a
think that
symbiosis.
right, yeah, like
Yeah.
they don't have a really great symbiosis. Like I would love to see what this film would have been like in a different circumstances, especially when Fox wasn't so interfering with the way that the film was going to be made. But ultimately, I don't feel like it holds up. It's very, very close. I went back and forth on this, but I don't feel like it holds up to the standards of its potential, unfortunately. But you know, sorry, I just got a text message. It says, "Does it hold
up?" Perfect.
Billiam, how do you feel?
Well, first of all y'all did was explain why y'all didn't like the movie and why it wasn't a good movie. But that's not the criteria of does it hold up. Criteria for does it hold up is simply as it goes. Can you do the movie today with the budget that they made it for? If you put it out today, would it make money? And that's why I have to say this movie does hold up, because all of the things, any complaint that I could have of the movie is anecdotal to the fact of if it would actually be able to come out today and make money. Today we are sitting here, as you probably when you who are watching this in the future, you probably seen a Planet of the Apes movie that's brand new at the time, at this point in time. And Jeff said he didn't think any of them was good. So therefore, I think this very much so could come out today because they keep putting out Planet of the Apes movies. Planet of the Apes is one of the most successful franchises of all time in cinema. And it's like Scooby-Doo. It just keeps making money no matter what time period you put it out in. And so, yeah, I have to say that this movie holds up. I mean, like it or not, it made money. This movie made a AF ton of money, like when it came out. And I'd have to imagine it would make double today because of the reasons we mentioned about the practical effects.
Yeah.
And it would have just been blowing anything else that's coming out today out of the water. I mean, effects wise and costume design wise, makeup wise, like Oscars out of the wazoo. Fuck
I
a
definitely
Beautiful
think
Mind.
now the practical effects drought that we're in, people would be like, "Whoa, they put those actors in 10 hours of ape makeup. I'm in." Story
yeah.
is secondary.
Yeah, people
And
said that Colin Farrell did a great job as the Penguin just because they didn't know it was that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it didn't
Yeah.
take nothing. Those kind of things can transform a performance as well.
Dave
transcend a
Bautista as Drax.
Yeah. And
Batista as Drax.
I would
That's
have
great.
honestly, I would have loved if this movie made like a fucking $1 billion and that like sort of transcends the film industry and we get so much like we get a more of an emphasis on makeup and practicality with CGI support rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
But this is the world that we ended up with, unfortunately, and people didn't really connect with this movie.
It's like the director of Jumanji said.
Damn
like, if
us!
we'd have made this
We
movie
blew it all to hell.
It's like the Jumanji director said, if we'd have made this movie a year before, it would have been all practical effects, no CGI. If we made this movie the year after, it would have been all CGI, and neither one of them would have been good.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a tightrope to walk with special effects, but yeah, you can't win them all. And guys, we have voted. That is the That is the verdict. The film does not hold up, but
you
let us know.
You can vote. The vote's not over. The verdict's not out. You go ahead and vote. Put it in your comments, man. Let me know. How do you feel? Does this movie hold up?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Like, do you enjoy it? Did you also let us know how you felt the first time you saw the movie? But before we get out of here, Jefe, which is boss in Spanish. Damn it, I said the real word. Is Jeff in Spanish? Jeff, can you tell us where the people can find you on the interwebs?
I'm so glad you asked.
No.
You walked right into that, Alex.
I really did.
You can always try and Skype me, Don Cheadle's Driveway at littledickie2.com. It's because of the hackers.
Yeah. Damn, I can't believe they still got you, man.
I know. You can try and find Jeff Madel on Facebook at MadelJeff on Instagram, or every Monday night you can watch me talking with the Drunk Banthas about the shows of the week.
The shows of the week.
And what about you, KirstYn Cab? Where can the people find you on the interwebs? I'm sorry, I don't know why I said your name is such a weird.
It's like Mark Wahlberg, get out of here.
KirstYn Cab, how is your mother doing? You should make a TV show about fucking people and making money.
Thanks for that.
That was the wrong time to take a sip of water. Oh my God,
choked,
that was good.
You?
I did.
You can find me on Facebook, KirstYn Cobb. That's my name. It's pretty much the same for all my social media. KirstYn Cobb 1 on Twitter, aka X, aka Elon Musk's apartheid fun fair. KirstYn _Cobb on Instagram.
I thought she was gonna say Elon Musk's apartment.
No. Don't go there to get a diddler experience out of that. You can also find me on TikTok, but that is different. It's the Daddy Lorian on TikTok.
Daddy Lorian.
That's right.
Daddy Lorian.
Nolte.
Nice.
The real shows behind the curtain. And if you guys if you guys don't remember all those wonderful links and ats, you can find all the links in the video description. Yeah, this is about the time where we end our show. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Oh, sorry. Do you want to tell the people where they can find you on the interwebs?
I mean, like, up on this. This is our channel. You find it here. Go to the merch store. Go to the merch store. Click stuff. That's what you need to do. You can find us every Monday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Every Monday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. The Drunk Banthas channel. KirstYn, say something so they can see your shirt right there.
Oh yeah. Boom.
Look
at that. Hopefully I didn't expose my bra. There we go. Yeah.
KirstYn's about to just show everyone the goods over there.
Try to like slowly drag it up in a frame, but yeah, it's getting dangerously close there.
Exactly. So as you see, you can also find me on t-shirts. You can find us on t-shirts, and you can find us on the Bantha Bunch every Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. I can't stress enough how you need to be there. We get it in. We talk about documentaries, and we just talk shit. Basically, we just talk shit. Whatever is happening, we talk about it. It's real podding. No week-to-week stuff that we got to keep up with. You just come in there and get it in. You know what I'm saying? Come join us in the chat. It's always live for both shows. And, you know, all the Does It Hold Ups and the Drunk Reviews. We got, if I'm not mistaken, at this point, the Empire Strikes Back versus Dune should be out.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
go check that out.
Nice.
It's versus Dune 2. Empire Strikes Back versus Dune 2.
Yeah.
Just in time for May the 4th.
Yes.
You Banthas,
And
you
right
treat
in
them
front
right.
of-
I
in
wish
front of
we
May
had
the
some
9th.
sort of holiday for Dune.
That's right. That's
If
right.
only there
it's
were.
called doing it.
Yes, you know, we obviously there's the May the 4th be with you, and there's the lesser known Revenge of the 5th. But you know, we got a campaign going, May thy 9th, chip and shatter. We're trying to get that going for Dune Day. Guys, please put it annoy the people at the National Calendar Association so we
Yes.
can make that a real
Threaten
holiday.
them with
Alex
your
is-
popcorn bucket videos because I
Oh,
know you
yeah.
made them nasty.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I also love that there is a holiday called Cinco de Mayo, and nerds are trying to be like, no, fuck that, Star Wars.
Well, they didn't say
Yeah.
fuck that instead of. They just said including.
Well, Cinco
Celebrate
is,
whatever you want.
Quattro
Cinco's
is
five.
different than Cinco.
I just don't like
Yeah,
bacon.
Cinco
Revenge
was
of the-
5.
Revenge of
Oh,
the Fifth.
Revenge of the Fifth. I
Yeah,
forget that.
Revenge of
I
the
don't
Fifth.
like
That's
the
what I'm
Revenge
saying.
of the Fifth.
Yeah,
right.
I'm
I
sorry.
think
I
that's
thought
stupid.
Fucking nerds.
I think Revenge, yeah, exactly. Fucking nerds.
May the
Get
fourth
outta
be
here.
with you. That's all ours.
That's
Cool
it.
with that.
That's
Revenge
it.
of the Fifth is like, oh, okay, fuck off.
That's some old Buster shit. Get
You're
that
asking for
fucking
too
shit out
much.
of here.
You're asking for too much.
But May
But
the
May the
Ninth
Ninth Ship and Shatter is just right. It's the Goldilocks.
There you
That's
go.
the Goldilocks.
Get your sandworms ready.
Only reason that I want it to happen is because I want it to be a level of craziness, chaos.
Yeah.
I
It
was like,
becomes the purge.
dude, if this really happens, let me tell you something. If this really happens,
Civilization ended.
no, if that was the case, then John Oliver would have ended the world years and years
Yeah,
ago. Because we're just doing a John Oliver bit, really, on
Yeah.
accident.
Yeah.
Or hoping to be as popular as a British white man, which is a
British
high
white.
bar to reach.
I'm not gonna lie, I'll take that.
But guys, thank you so much for
Put that on a
watching.
t-shirt. I want to be as rich as a British white man.
And just have John Oliver holding a mug, looking sophisticated. But guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of Does It Hold Up? New episodes drop every other Monday at 4:20 a.m. Please like and subscribe. If you don't, it's not required, but you will not be invited to the cookout. Stay safe. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care.